It was a bloodline thought to be lost to the annals of history, veiled in the myths of an ancient era, last glimpsed during the age of the Rakuta Sennin. Yet, it was never truly gone. For a millennium, this power remained dormant, hidden within the veins of countless descendants, waiting for the moment of its resurgence. Now, after 1,000 years, it awakens. With the ability to command time itself and alter the fabric of reality, this is the story of Uzumaki Naruto, the Time Sage. Good morning, class. Welcome to what will hopefully be your final day as Academy students, a scar-faced Chunin instructor announced from the front of the room. His voice carried a hint of authority, matched by the stern expression on his face. Today is the graduation exam. If you pass, you'll earn the honor of becoming one of the village's proud shinobi. The exam will consist of 5 parts: a written test, taijutsu assessment, physical evaluation, weapons test, and finally, a ninjutsu demonstration, he explained, scanning the room of eager or nervous faces. Among them, a blonde-haired boy in an orange jumpsuit sat practically vibrating with excitement. This is it. I'm going to pass this time for sure. One step closer to being Hokage, Dadabiya. Naruto Uzumaki thought with determination. The written exam. The first test was the written portion. Naruto turned over his paper at the instructor's signal and began reading the questions. Question 1. Name 3 of the village's 4 Hokages. Easy. There's the Shodaime, Senju Hashirama. Then the Nidaime, Senju Tobirama. And of course, Jiji. Naruto scribbled his answers confidently. Question 2. What is chakra? His answer was brief and slightly off but acceptable enough to pass. Naruto worked through the remaining questions, feeling confident he had done well. After signing his name at the top, he handed in the paper to Mizuki, the white-haired Chunin instructor, and headed outside for the next part of the exam. Unbeknownst to him, Mizuki made a quick hand sign as soon as Naruto left. The answers on Naruto's test rearranged themselves, completely mismatching the questions. A smirk crept across Mizuki's face. Thanks to the genjutsu he had placed, Naruto had just failed the written test. The taijutsu assessment. Outside, the students lined up for the taijutsu portion. Their task was to spar against an instructor for at least 3 minutes. Some, like Inyazuka Kiba and Hayagahi Nada, performed admirably, thanks to their clan's focus on taijutsu. Uchiha Sasuke, the class prodigy, lasted an impressive 5 minutes, earning bonus points. Meanwhile, others, like Nara Shikamaru and Abarame Shino, just barely scraped by. When Naruto's turn came, he stepped into the ring with boundless confidence. I'm going to last the full 5 minutes and show everyone what I'm made of. But the moment the match began, Mizuki's demeanor changed. He came at Naruto with a ferocity far beyond what he had shown the other students. His attacks were faster, his strikes harder. Naruto barely dodged a punch that could have knocked out teeth. The 3-minute bell rang just as Mizuki landed a powerful kick to Naruto's stomach, sending him flying into a tree. Naruto had technically passed but with the lowest score of the group. Mizuki's grin widened. Naruto's score wasn't nearly high enough to make up for the sabotage he'd faced earlier. The physical test. Next came the physical evaluation, where students completed various exercises to test their agility and endurance. Naruto, determined to prove himself, focused on an obstacle course that required jumping across tall logs. He leapt toward the next log but, to his shock, fell straight through it. He landed hard on his back, stunned. What the hell? There was a log there. Naruto shouted in frustration. Laughter erupted from the other students as Iruka sighed and recorded another low score for Naruto. Mizuki, of course, had used another genjutsu to sabotage him. The weapons test. For the weapons portion, students were given 10 kunao and 10 shuriken to hit as many targets as possible. Naruto stepped up to the line and hurled his first kunao, only for it to drop like a stone halfway to the target. His second kunai flew wildly over the target. Out of the 20 weapons, only a few landed anywhere near their marks, barely earning him a passing grade. Mizuki's smirk returned. Using gravity seals on Naruto's weapons had worked perfectly. The ninjutsu test. Finally, it was time for the ninjutsu portion. The students were required to perform the Bunshin no Jutsu, clone technique. Naruto felt his stomach drop. No. Not that one. I'm terrible at it. When his name was called, he stepped into the room. Gathering all his chakra, he tried the technique. A puff of smoke filled the air, but when it cleared, a single, lifeless clone lay crumpled on the ground. Iruka stared at him, his patience clearly at its limit. His face morphed into exaggerated anger as he bellowed, "You fail." Naruto's heart sank. Mizuki, however, smiled inwardly. Everything was going according to his plan. Later that afternoon, Naruto sat alone on the swing outside the academy, his head hung low as he watched parents flood the yard, congratulating their children on passing the graduation exam. No one approached him. No smiles, no words of encouragement, only the same cold indifference he'd known for as long as he could remember. "Look at that boy," one parent whispered to another, their voices barely audible yet sharp enough to cut. "Yeah, that's him, the one who failed," the other replied. "It's probably for the best. Someone like him shouldn't be a shinobi. Not with what he shh." The second parent hissed, silencing the conversation. "You know we're not supposed to talk about that." Naruto's heart sank further. He didn't understand why the village hated him so much. What had he ever done to deserve their disdain? Dragging his feet, he headed home, his thoughts a swirling storm of confusion and frustration. As he neared his small apartment, Mizuki-sensei appeared seemingly out of nowhere, calling out to him. A few moments later, the two sat on the worn-out balcony of Naruto's apartment. Mizuki's tone was unusually warm, his demeanor almost kind. "Iruka-sensei is tough on you because he cares," Mizuki began, attempting to sound sincere. "He lost his parents when he was your age, and he had to grow up fast. He sees himself in you." Naruto clenched his fists. "Then why does he only pick on me?" he shouted, his voice cracking under the weight of his frustration. "Maybe he wants you to grow strong the right way. To make you realize your potential," Mizuki reasoned. Then, after a pause, he leaned in closer. "But if you're feeling like no one believes in you, I can help. There's a way you can prove yourself." Mizuki's words planted a seed of curiosity and desperation in Naruto's heart. That night, after hours of tossing and turning in his bed, Naruto decided to act. He snuck into the Hokage's residence, carefully navigating the halls until he stumbled upon his goal, the forbidden scroll of sealing. With the scroll in hand, he dashed into the woods, eager to discover the secrets within. For hours, Naruto pored over the scroll, practicing until he was bruised and exhausted. Finally, he sat back with a satisfied grin. "I've got it," he declared, his voice filled with renewed hope. But his moment of triumph was short-lived. "Naruto." Iruka's voice rang out as he dropped into the clearing. His eyes widened at the sight of the scroll in Naruto's possession. "What are you doing?" Naruto blinked, startled but defiant. "Mizuki-sensei told me about this secret graduation test. He said if I learned something from this scroll, I could pass." Before Iruka could respond, a flurry of kunai shot through the air. Acting on instinct, he pushed Naruto aside, taking the brunt of the attack himself. Blood seeped through his torn sleeves as he staggered, glaring up at the newcomer. "Nice work leading me right to him," Mizuki sneered from atop a branch. "Mizuki, you traitor." Iruka spat, struggling to stay on his feet. "Naruto, don't give him the scroll. It's dangerous." Confusion and betrayal washed over Naruto as Mizuki leapt down, his smirk widening. Oh, don't listen to him, Naruto. He's just like the rest of the village, they all hate you. But I'll tell you why. Do you want to know the secret they've been keeping from you? Mizuki, don't. Iruka shouted, but his protests fell on deaf ears. 12 years ago, the nine-tailed fox attacked the village, Mizuki began, his voice dripping with malice. And you, Naruto, you're that fox? You're the monster they sealed away. Naruto froze, the weight of Mizuki's words crashing down on him. His mind raced, piecing together years of cold stares and whispered insults. No, that's not true. He muttered, his voice trembling. Isn't it obvious? Mizuki pressed. Why else would they all hate you? Even Iruka despises you. That's not true. Iruka's voice cut through the tension as he struggled to his feet. Naruto, listen to me. You're not the Nine Tails. You're Uzumaki Naruto, a member of this village. Naruto's heart wavered, caught between despair and the faint flicker of hope Iruka's words ignited. But Mizuki wasn't done. With a cruel laugh, he hurled a massive shuriken at Naruto. Frozen by fear and doubt, Naruto could only watch as it sped toward him until Iruka stepped in, shielding him with his own body. Why would you do that? Naruto asked, tears streaming down his face. Because you remind me of myself, Iruka said weakly, his voice laced with pain. When my parents died, I felt so alone. I acted out, trying to get attention. But you faced so much more than I ever did. And still, you never gave up. Naruto, you're not a monster. You're one of my most precious students. Iruka's words broke through the darkness clouding Naruto's heart. Fueled by newfound determination, he stood tall, facing Mizuki with fiery resolve. If you touch Iruka-sensei again, I'll make you regret it? Naruto shouted. Mizuki laughed mockingly. You? What can you possibly do, Demon Fox? Naruto smirked, forming a hand seal. I'll show you who I really am. Shadow Clone Jutsu. In an instant, the clearing was filled with hundreds of Naruto clones. Mizuki's confidence evaporated as the clones advanced, delivering a swift and decisive punishment. When the dust settled, Naruto turned to Iruka, who was smiling through his pain. Come here, Naruto, Iruka said, pulling off his headband. He tied it around Naruto's forehead with a proud grin. Congratulations, you've graduated. For the first time, Naruto felt truly seen, his heart swelling with pride and hope for the future. The early morning sun bathed Konohagakure no Sato, the village hidden in the leaves, in a golden light. Excitement buzzed through the village, as today marked a significant milestone for many young students, graduation day from the Shinobi Academy. Among the eager students was Uzumaki Naruto, clad in his signature orange outfit. Today was his chance to take a step closer to his ultimate dream, becoming the Hokage. Yet, an odd thought lingered in the back of his mind, refusing to be dismissed. That dream was weird, Naruto mused. The previous night's vision of failing the graduation exam, being tricked by Mizuki-sensei into stealing a forbidden scroll, and uncovering a genjutsu over the test didn't feel like a simple dream. It was too vivid, too real. But, doesn't matter. No way I'm failing. I'm gonna be Hokage Databia. Arriving at the academy, Naruto took his usual seat at the back of the classroom near two familiar classmates, Nara Shikamaru, snoozing as usual, and Akimichi Chuji, munching on a bag of chips. These two were among the few who didn't mind Naruto's company. Before long, their instructor, Umino Iruka, entered, his sharp eyes scanning the room for any signs of a prank. Satisfied that the coast was clear, he stepped to the podium and began his speech. Good morning, everyone. Today is a pivotal day for you all. It's the graduation exam, and passing means you'll join the ranks of Konohagakure's shinobi, Iruka announced. Naruto usually tuned out such speeches, but today, he found himself hanging on every word. They were identical to what he had heard in his dream. The exam has 5 parts, Irika continued. A written test, taijutsu evaluation, physical assessment, weapons proficiency, and finally, a ninjutsu demonstration. Naruto's stomach churned. This is exactly like my dream. Could it all really happen? Shaking off the unsettling feeling, Naruto turned his attention to the written exam as it was handed out. He flipped the paper over and scanned the questions. Name 3 of the village's 4 Hokages. What is chakra? Every question mirrored his dream. Anxiety gnawed at him. If this is real, does that mean Mizuki-sensei is actually trying to sabotage me? Naruto hesitated, then decided to follow his gut. He answered based on the rearranged questions he'd seen in his dream after Mizuki removed the genjutsu. Handing in his test, Naruto left the room and joined the other students. Mizuki reviewed the paper, dispelling the subtle genjutsu to reveal the real arrangement of the questions. Confident Naruto had failed, Mizuki smirked as he passed it to Irika. To Mizuki's shock, Irika graded it and looked impressed. Naruto, you aced it? Well done. Outside, Naruto stared at the results, stunned. How did I pull that off? The questions shouldn't have matched, but they did. The day progressed, each test unfolding exactly as it had in his dream. In the taijutsu portion, Naruto faced Mizuki, who struck with an intensity that felt more like malice than testing. Still, Naruto managed to dodge the worst blows and pass the 3-minute mark, scoring better than many of his peers. The physical test came next. At the obstacle course, Naruto avoided the rigged log he'd seen in his dream, landing safely on the correct one. He completed the course with a solid performance, earning another pass. Mizuki's frustration grew, but Naruto remained focused. By the weapons test, Naruto adjusted for the sabotaged kunai, throwing with precision despite their erratic behavior. With passing marks in 4 of the 5 exams, only the ninjutsu portion remained. Next, each of you will perform the Bunshin no Jutsu, Irika announced. Naruto tensed. This is it, my worst jutsu. When his turn came, he stepped into the room, nerves jangling. Summoning his chakra, Naruto formed the hand seals. Bunshin no Jutsu. A puff of smoke revealed a half-formed, lifeless clone. Irika sighed. I'm sorry, Naruto, but... Wait. Naruto interrupted. Just one more chance, please. Irika hesitated, but eventually shook his head. Naruto, I can't. No. What was that jutsu from my dream? Frantically searching his memory, Naruto recalled the alternative jutsu he'd seen himself use. It was a desperate gamble, but he had nothing to lose. Please. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. He shouted. Smoke exploded into the room, and when it cleared, over a dozen solid clones stood at attention. Irika and Mizuki gawked, stunned. Naruto, those are solid clones, Irika whispered. Where did you learn this? I saw it in a dream. Naruto said sheepishly. Irika pinched the bridge of his nose, muttering, that's almost as bad as one of Kakashi's excuses. He turned to Naruto, his expression serious. Come with me. We need to see the Hokage. Mizuki's face twitched, but he forced a calm response. I'll finish up here, Irika. As Naruto followed Irika, a question burned in his mind. Wait, sensei, do I pass? Irika hesitated. That's up to the Hokage, Naruto. Using a Jonin-level forbidden jutsu complicates things. Naruto swallowed hard. What's going to happen now? Well, this is certainly fascinating. How did Naruto come to know the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu? The third Hokage muttered aloud, his gaze fixed on the crystal ball where he had just witnessed Naruto's unexpected feat. As he pondered, there was a knock at the door, and in walked Irika, accompanied by the very person the Hokage was focused on. Sandaime-sama, Irika bowed respectfully. Forgive the intrusion, but I was just conducting Naruto's graduation exam when he performed a Jonin-level forbidden technique. Yes. I saw, the Hokage interjected, taking a contemplative puff from his pipe. Now, Naruto-kun, would you care to explain how you learned the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu? Naruto looked up and recounted his dream, detailing the vivid experience as Sarutobi listened intently while Irika gave him a skeptical glance, assuming it was just another one of Naruto's tall tales. And then Mizuki told me that I am. Naruto hesitated, looking at the Hokage with uncertainty. Chiji, am I really the Kyuubi no Kitsune? That question froze the room. The Hokage's demeanor immediately shifted, and the silence that followed grew heavy. The realization hit him like a bolt. There was far more to this dream than he had initially understood. I see. Naruto muttered, as the silence confirmed his suspicions. Naruto, Sarutobi began, his voice soft but firm. While it is true the Kyuubi no Kitsune is sealed inside you, that doesn't mean you are the fox itself. Reaching into his desk, the Hokage pulled out a scroll and a kunao. This kunao is the Kyuubi, and you, he said, holding the scroll, are this scroll. The Hokage then proceeded to seal the kunao inside the scroll. Now, tell me, is this scroll the same as the kunao? No. I guess not, Naruto replied, his tension easing a bit. Irika-sensei. I'm sorry, Naruto, Irika started, his expression full of regret. I didn't understand before. It's okay, Irika-sensei, Naruto smiled, unbothered. But if you really want to apologize, how about you treat me to some Ichiraku ramen? He grinned, lightening the mood. Irika let out a relieved sigh. Thank you, Naruto. But I still don't get it. How do you know the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu? I told you, I saw it in my dream, Naruto repeated, though Irika remained unconvinced. I want to believe that, Naruto, but this sounds more like a fantasy than something someone could learn in a dream, Irika said, shaking his head. Irika, as improbable as it seems, there is no chakra fluctuation from Naruto-kun, Sarutobi interjected. He doesn't seem to be lying. However, I too am curious about this. He gestured for an Umbu operative to appear. After giving the Umbu instructions, the masked figure disappeared on the Hokage's command. I want Yamanaka Inoichi to probe Naruto-kun's mind. We'll get to the bottom of this dream and determine how Naruto learned the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Understood, Irika nodded. Naruto only looked more confused. Moments later, Naruto found himself seated before a man with a blonde ponytail. Naruto-kun, the man greeted him with a calm voice. My name is Yamanaka Inoichi. I will be taking a look at your dream. Just relax, and it will be over before you know it. As Inoichi's mind entered Naruto's, his eyes widened in surprise. Naruto hadn't fabricated anything. Somehow, he had indeed seen the forbidden scroll of sealing in his dream and learned the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Hokage-sama, Inoichi said, looking stunned. I see. Sarutobi murmured. This is certainly fascinating. He motioned again, summoning another Umbu, and a purple-haired kunoichi in a cat mask appeared. Nico, please bring Mizuki here. Irika was taken aback. Hokage-sama, why do you need Mizuki? Naruto-kun's dream. It wasn't just a dream. It was a glimpse of the future, perhaps. Somehow, he saw the events that would happen, or at least, a version of them today, Sarutobi explained thoughtfully. Irika blinked in disbelief. You believe Mizuki was going to betray us? That's what I intend to find out, the Hokage replied. If Mizuki's actions match the dream Naruto-kun had, then we may have something much more significant on our hands. Minato. Could your son have awakened that bloodline? Irika, Naruto, you're dismissed for now, Sarutobi said. I will summon you both in a few days after further investigation. And remember, this must remain a secret for now. No one must know about this. Wait. Naruto spoke up, his face full of hope. So, do I pass? Am I a ninja now? Sarutobi chuckled. Let's leave that to Iruka, shall we? Iruka, smiling, placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder. How about we celebrate your graduation with some ramen? Moments later, at Ichiraku Ramen, the ramen chef took his set down 2 large bowls in front of them. Here you go, Naruto. Congratulations on graduating. Ayam took his daughter, smiled. So, where's your headband, Naruto-kun? Naruto's eyes widened. What? I don't have it yet. He exclaimed in panic. Iruka chuckled and handed Naruto his own Hitai-8. Here. It's yours. Really? Naruto's face lit up as he accepted it. Thanks, Iruka-sensei. Hey, Ayam-nichan, how do I look? Congratulations, Naruto-kun, Ayam replied with a warm smile. Iruka continued, you'll need to return for orientation at the academy in a few days. After that, you'll be assigned to a team with a Jonin-sensei who will guide you. Can't I just stay with you, Iruka-sensei? Naruto asked, hopeful. Iruka laughed. Sorry, Naruto. That's not how it works, but I'm sure I can help you catch up on anything you missed. You can always drop by. Naruto grinned, undeterred. Nah, I'm a ninja now, Tobia. I'm gonna be doing awesome ninja stuff and learning new jutsus. Iruka chuckled as they dug into their ramen. After finishing several bowls, Naruto spoke again. Iruka-sensei, what do you think about that vision thing? Do you really think I saw the future? I'm just as confused as you are, Iruka admitted. I've never heard of anyone seeing the future. But everything that happened, all the things I did, it seems like it all just lined up perfectly. Do you think Mizuki really planned all that? Naruto nodded slowly. He tried to fail me, but he didn't try to get me to steal the scroll, or try to kill you. Iruka finished the thought, his voice quiet. Yeah. Thinking back on everything, I feel like it was more than just a dream. I don't know what to think, Iruka said, shaking his head in uncertainty. This whole thing has me baffled. Naruto groggily awoke the next morning, scratching his head. Man, that was strange, he muttered. What was all that about? A kid named Konohamaru, who's Chichi's grandson, and some perverted teacher. Today, Naruto had planned to get his shinobi registration picture taken. But when he woke up, it was after yet another odd dream or vision, whatever you wanted to call it. After turning in his form to the Hokage, Sarutobi's irritation was evident as a vein popped on his forehead. Take it again, the old Hokage grumbled, tossing the form back at Naruto. It turns out Naruto had drawn bizarre symbols on himself and submitted that as his photo. But it came to me in a dream. I had to go with it? Naruto grinned sheepishly. Just then, the office door creaked open. A small boy, the same one from Naruto's dream, slid into the room with a shuriken in hand. Fight me, old man. The boy yelled. Sarutobi sighed, adjusting his hat. Not again. Here it comes, Naruto thought, watching the boy likely Konohamaru charge at the Hokage, only to trip over his own scarf. Damn it. Who set this trap? Konohamaru yelled in frustration. Are you okay? And there's no trap here, shouted the boy's instructor, who Naruto immediately recognized as the closet perv from his vision. Ah, so it was you who set this trap. Konohamaru accused, pointing at Naruto. You tripped on your own scarf, idiot. Naruto shot back. Hey, let him go. He's the Hokage's grandson. The instructor, Ebisu, shouted. Come on then. Konohamaru grinned. Hit me. You wouldn't dare hurt the Hokage's grandson. You really think I care, idiot? Naruto said before smacking Konohamaru on the head. You can't do that to the honorable grandson. Ebisu exclaimed, but Naruto wasn't backing down. Really? What are you gonna do? Naruto sneered. I'm an elite instructor. You'll treat me with respect. Ebisu retorted, getting angrier. Naruto smirked. Oh yeah? Warak no Jutsu. With a puff of smoke, he transformed into a gorgeous, busta woman with barely their clothing, smoke wisps covering her private areas. Instantly, both the pervy instructor and the Hokage were sent flying back with blood spraying from their noses. After leaving the Hokage tower, Naruto wasn't alone. His little stalker, Konohamaru, was tailing him more persistently than expected. You're not fooling anyone with that disguise, Naruto said, pointing at Konohamaru, who was trying to hide behind a fence. His blanket was an obvious cover-up. Heh, you saw through it, huh? Just like I expected from someone like you, Konohamaru grinned. Cut it out already? I don't need you following me. Naruto shouted, exasperated. Okay, I'll make you my boss. And in return, Konohamaru began, Naruto anticipating a ridiculous request. Please teach me that Warak no Jutsu. The rest of the day was filled with Konohamaru's increasingly horrible attempts at using the Warak no Jutsu. Later that evening, while taking a break from training, Konohamaru confided in Naruto, revealing why he always tried to challenge his grandfather. He wanted to be recognized for more than just being the Hokage's grandson. His dream was to become Hokage to gain that recognition. Naruto, on the other hand, told him that becoming Hokage wasn't a shortcut, it was a long, hard journey, and if Konohamaru truly wanted to wear the hat, he'd have to defeat Naruto first. By the end of their conversation, Konohamaru began to see Naruto as a rival, someone to strive against. Meanwhile, Ebisu showed up once again, only to be hit with an even more devastating version of Naruto's Warak no Jutsu, the Harem no Jutsu. The result was disastrous for the pervy instructor, who ended up needing blood transfusions due to the sheer volume of blood lost. As Naruto and Konohamaru finished their training, the Hokage approached Naruto, his tone serious. I saw your expression in the office today. Did you really know what would happen? Last night, I had another one of those visions, Naruto replied. It wasn't just a dream, it was something more. Have you learned anything about these visions? I have a theory, but it's not confirmed yet. But I can tell you this, everything you saw about Mizuki was true. He really planned to use you to steal the Forbidden Scroll and betray the village, Sarutobi explained. Wow. Mizuki really was going to try and kill me and Iruka-sensei. Naruto thought, still in disbelief. A few days later, Naruto was startled to open his door just before Iruka knocked. So, Chiji wants to see us, huh? Naruto asked. You knew? Iruka questioned, surprised. It's strange. This is the third time something like this has happened. What I see in my mind happens, except the graduation exams. I didn't do what the vision showed me there. But this time was different. I was just having breakfast when the vision of you showing up popped into my head, Naruto explained. I'm sure Hokage-sama has answers for you, Iruka said before whisking Naruto off with a shunshin to the Hokage's office. Once inside, Sarutobi cleared the room of Umbu and activated privacy seals. Naruto, I think I know what's happening with your visions, but it's not fully confirmed. I believe I can help, Sarutobi began. Really? What do I need to do? Naruto asked eagerly. Turn around and face away from me. Channel chakra into your eyes, Sarutobi instructed. Iruka, stay still, no moving, no speaking. Hi, Hokage-sama, Iruka replied. Naruto turned and began concentrating on his chakra. A moment later, Sarutobi threw a kunao at him. Iruka wanted to warn Naruto, but the Hokage's glare kept him frozen in place. Suddenly, Naruto's eyes snapped open, and he jumped to the side just in time to avoid the kunao. What the hell was that? He yelled, turning to confront the attack. Iruka gasped at the sight of Naruto's eyes, and Sarutobi sighed in relief. It's just as I suspected. You have the Sharingan. What? What's that? Naruto asked, confused. Iruka pointed at Naruto's eyes. Look, Naruto. Your eyes. Sarutobi handed him a mirror, and when Naruto looked into it, his normally bright blue eyes had transformed. A glowing 12-point star appeared within his eyes, with his pupils still intact. What is this? Naruto whispered, stunned. It's the Sharingan, a dojutsu from an ancient bloodline, Sarutobi explained. Legends say it allowed its user to manipulate time itself. But I'm not sure how it activated. There's an old scroll in the archives that mentions your bloodline, but there's still so much we don't understand. Naruto, wide-eyed, took it all in. So, what does this mean for me? Your visions, those are your bloodline awakening. They let you see into the future. But this is a powerful gift, Naruto. Don't abuse it. Practice controlling it, Sarutobi warned. I will, Jiji, Naruto promised. Good. Keep it secret for now. Use that scroll to learn more, and train with it. Iruka will help you. But be cautious who you tell, Sarutobi advised. Naruto nodded, determined. You can count on me, Jiji, he said, ready to master his new power. As he left with Iruka, Sarutobi looked up at the portrait of Minato. Minato, your bloodline has awakened in your son. I wonder how you'd feel, seeing this now. Naruto sat alone in his apartment, staring into a mirror. Technically, he was training, but in reality, he was experimenting with the new dojutsu he'd discovered, trying to get a feel for how to activate and deactivate it at will. He channeled chakra into his eyes, then opened them, inspecting his reflection. Whoa, this is awesome! Naruto exclaimed in awe. He released the chakra, watching as the 12-point star faded, and his eyes returned to their usual cerulean blue. After a moment of excitement, he tried again, activating the dojutsu only to lose consciousness. When Naruto regained awareness, he found himself somewhere completely unfamiliar. He wasn't in his apartment or even Konoha. Instead, he was lying atop a massive stone castle, perched high on a cliff, overlooking a violent ocean. But what truly captivated him was the sky, a dazzling array of moons and stars in various sizes and colors, filling the heavens in ways Naruto never could have imagined. After 1,000 years, it seems you finally arrived again, a voice echoed, pulling Naruto from his awe. Spinning around, he saw a cloaked figure, shrouded in midnight blue, with golden wisps and circles dancing across the fabric. Only a small part of his face was visible, aged and marked by a long white beard. The figure also carried a large hourglass and an enormous scythe. Where am I? And who are you? Naruto demanded, still shaken. Where you are is of no concern for now. As for me, you may call me Time, the figure replied calmly. All right, and what exactly am I doing here? Naruto asked, still confused. Why am I not in my apartment? And what do you mean I've arrived again? I've never been here before. The cloaked figure spoke with a slow, deliberate voice. Patience, young one. You've arrived because your newly awakened powers brought you here. It was inevitable. Naruto was still trying to make sense of the situation. So what am I supposed to do here? I simply wanted to meet the next bearer of my powers, Time answered cryptically. Naruto furrowed his brow. Wait, do you know something about this bloodline I've inherited? The bloodline you speak of originated from me at the dawn of time. Every 1,000 years, it resurfaces in a new bearer. This time, you happen to be the descendant who has inherited it, Time explained. Okay, so besides the dojutsu, what other powers do I have? Naruto asked, eager for answers. That, you will discover for yourself, Time replied mysteriously. But be warned, you will face many challenges ahead, tests that you must pass. Tests? Naruto echoed, raising an eyebrow. What kind of tests? In time, you will know, Time responded with a knowing smile. Great, sounds like this guy's got a clock for a brain, Naruto thought sarcastically. Suddenly, the mood shifted. Time's demeanor darkened as he spoke. It is time for you to leave. We will meet again in the future. Without warning, Time surged toward Naruto with startling speed, knocking him off the edge of the tower. No. Naruto cried out as he plummeted through the air, only to land with a jarring thud on his apartment floor. Despite feeling like he had fallen hundreds of feet, the only thing that hurt was a slight bump on his head. What the heck just happened? Naruto muttered, disoriented. Glancing at the clock on his bedside table, his eyes widened. It's already 8 o'clock in the morning. What the heck happened last night? Panic set in as he scrambled through his clothes. Today was the day of the genin orientation, and he was already running dangerously late. Naruto rushed through the streets of Konoha, excitement bubbling inside him as he made his way to the academy for the final day. Today marked the genin orientation, the day he would officially be assigned to a team and begin his journey as a ninja. Arriving at the academy early, Naruto took a seat next to Sasuke, who was, as usual, lost in his thoughts, brooding over the massacre of his clan. Naruto sighed, praying he wouldn't be placed on Sasuke's team. However, an idea quickly crossed his mind. He could use his Sharingan to glimpse the future and find out who his teammates would be. As he activated his dojutsu, Naruto saw something that made his stomach churn. He nearly lost his breakfast when he saw an image of him and Sasuke kissing. No way. He screamed, dashing to the other side of the room in a blur that left everyone staring. Oh hell no. There's no way that is happening. He yelled, his mind still reeling from the vision. Just then, the door to the classroom slammed open, and a blonde blur followed by a pink blur entered, both girls heading straight for the seat next to Sasuke. Sasuke-kun! Screamed the pink-haired girl, charging toward him. Naruto's heart skipped a beat. There she was, Sakura, the girl he had admired for so long. However, she promptly plopped down next to Sasuke, ignoring Naruto. Damn. I guess sitting next to Sakura-chan isn't worth kissing. Sasuke. Naruto shot a glare at Sasuke, still uneasy from his vision. Today, I'm gonna get Sasuke-kun's first kiss, eek. Cried Sakura from across the room, while inner Sakura added, and I'm going to steal his first kiss. Naruto waited in silence until Iruka finally entered the classroom, but he couldn't stop wondering who was on his team. Iruka started his graduation speech, but Naruto tuned him out, trying again to peek into the future. Haha, I'm gonna see if I'm on Sakura-chan's team, he smirked, reactivating his dojutsu. However, the moment Iruka announced, Team 7 will be Uzumaki Naruto, Haruno Sakura, Naruto's eyes widened. I'm on her team. He cheered silently, before he abruptly cut off his vision to avoid seeing anything else. Wait, I'm on Sakura-chan's team. Naruto repeated in disbelief, just as Iruka announced Sasuke as the final member. The class erupted in murmurs. Naruto's prediction had been spot on, but everyone was puzzled about how he knew. Sasuke scowled, muttering under his breath, how does he know? Iruka was visibly annoyed, his patience wearing thin. Naruto. How do you know about the teams? He asked, eyeing Naruto's activated dojutsu. Never mind, he sighed, rubbing his forehead. Next, Iruka announced teammate Hyuga Hinata, Inyazuka Kiba, and Abarame Shino. Hinata, while disappointed that she wasn't on Naruto's team, resolved to prove herself to her family. Shino, as stoic as ever, nodded to his teammates. Iruka continued, naming Team 10 Shikamaru, Ino, and Chuji. Shikamaru grinned, enjoying Ino's frustration. The last bit of the ceremony was over, and Naruto once again tried his luck with Sakura, only to be rejected. As usual, she was focused entirely on Sasuke. Even if I try using my looks, I'm still not good enough, Sakura thought, gazing at her forehead in the mirror, convinced it was her best feature. To her surprise, Sasuke appeared before her, commenting on the size of her forehead. "You sure have a large charming forehead," Sasuke said, making Sakura blush. Her heart fluttered, but Sasuke then turned the conversation to Naruto. "What do you think of him?" he asked, his gaze intense. Sakura blinked, unsure how to respond. "He's always getting in the way, annoying me. I wish he'd leave me alone." Sasuke frowned, clearly upset by this answer, and left without another word. Sakura stood in disbelief, confused about her own feelings, before calling out to Naruto. "I'm sorry for what I said before," she admitted, understanding a bit more about his loneliness now. "I can try to be nicer, especially since we're on the same team." Naruto smiled gently, brushing off her words. "It's okay, Sakura-chan." The team soon met their sensei, Heitake Kakashi, who arrived nearly 2 hours late. Naruto, ever the troublemaker, set up a prank with an eraser on the door. When Kakashi entered, the eraser fell and hit him square on the head. Naruto laughed hysterically as Kakashi gave him a deadpan look, unimpressed. "My first impression of you guys is..." Kakashi began, "I don't like you." His words hung in the air as they made their way to the roof for introductions. "Why don't you go first?" Naruto asked, eager to know more about their mysterious sensei. "My name is Heitake Kakashi. I have no desire to tell you my likes and dislikes," Kakashi said cryptically, shrugging. "I have a few hobbies." Naruto then introduced himself, expressing his love for ramen and his dream to surpass the Hokage and become the greatest one himself. Sasuke, on the other hand, simply shared his desire to revive his clan and kill a certain person, leaving the team uneasy. Sakura, despite being shy, finally confessed, "I like Sasuke-kun, and I dislike Ino Pig." She smiled nervously as Kakashi sighed. The awkward introductions were finally over, and Kakashi informed them that they would be undergoing survival training the next day. "You'll need all your ninja tools," he said ominously, adding that breakfast should be skipped to avoid throwing up. The trio of genin was left to wonder what they had gotten themselves into as Kakashi handed them the details of the test before leaving. That evening, Naruto had just finished attacking a pillow that resembled a scarecrow. "I'm ready for tomorrow's test," he cheered. "But I wonder what kind of test it will be. I wish I could figure out what Kakashi-sensei has in mind for us. Damn it." Naruto muttered, sitting down on his bed and assuming a meditative position. After struggling for almost 30 minutes, he finally focused his dojutsu, using it to glimpse into the next day. When he saw himself bound to a log, he stopped the vision and began preparing for the day ahead. By 7 a.m., Sasuke and Sakura had arrived at the training ground. "Where's Naruto? Does he not care about passing?" Sakura wondered aloud. After waiting for a while, they realized not only had their sensei not shown up yet, but their teammate was also late. Around 8:30, Naruto finally arrived, greeted by Sakura's angry glare and Sasuke's silent stare. "What's up?" Naruto asked, tilting his head. "Where were you?" Sakura demanded. "Well, sensei's gonna be late, so I didn't want to waste time waiting for him," Naruto explained. "How did you know he'd be late? What if he showed up on time?" Sakura asked skeptically. "Well, he was 2 hours late yesterday, so I figured he'd be late again today." Plus, I stopped for breakfast. Naruto then pulled out some apples from his pouch and handed one to Sasuke and Sakura. I thought Kakashi-sensei said not to eat, Sakura said, confused. He suggested not eating, but I'd rather be energized and ready to go than starving, Naruto replied casually. The doge's actually making sense for once, Sasuke thought as he bit into the apple. Sakura-chan, don't you want one? Naruto asked, offering her the fruit. I'm on a diet, but thanks, she answered. Are you sure? Naruto prodded. It's just an apple, and you won't be hungry all morning. Sakura hesitated before glancing at Sasuke, who nodded. Just eat it already. Sensei could show up at any time. Finally, Kakashi appeared at around 9 a.m. You're late. Sakura shouted. Yeah. Kakashi said, dismissing their complaints as he placed an alarm clock on a stump. He held up 2 bells. Your task is to take these bells from me before noon. If you don't get a bell, you don't eat, and I'll tie you to one of these posts while I enjoy my lunch. Sakura's eyes widened as she realized why Kakashi had told them not to eat. Meanwhile, Kakashi noted that his team didn't seem particularly hungry. Did they really ignore my warning? Kakashi thought. Well, at least one of them will definitely fail today. Only one of you can get a bell, so someone's going back to the academy. You can use shuriken or kunao if you want, but you won't succeed unless you come at me with the intent to kill, Kakashi added. But you'll be in danger. Sakura protested. Yeah, you're so slow, you can't even dodge an eraser. We'll kill you. Naruto taunted. In the real world, those with no talent often talk the loudest. Just get started when I say. Kakashi said, raising an eyebrow. Naruto was irked by the dead last comment. He quickly grabbed a kunao and aimed to throw it at Kakashi's smug mouth. However, before he could throw it, Kakashi was suddenly behind him, grabbing the kunao and holding it at the back of Naruto's head. Calm down. I haven't said start yet, Kakashi said with a smile. Team 7 was now impressed by the speed Kakashi had displayed. Well, seems like you're ready to fight for real. All right, begin. Without hesitation, all 3 charged off to take cover in the woods, except for Naruto, who yelled, "Come here and fight me." The others sweated nervously at Naruto's outburst. You're a little off, Kakashi said. Heh, we'll see who's talking when I'm done with you. You won't even know what hit you, Naruto thought, recalling the fight from the night before. The only thing off is your haircut. Naruto charged Kakashi, but backed off when Kakashi pulled out an orange book titled Ika Ika Paradise. It wasn't really a weapon, but Kakashi used it to mess with Naruto's head. Shinobi Fighting Lesson #1. Taijutsu, Kakashi said, reading the book. Come on, attack me. Wait, what's with that book? Naruto asked, trying to sound surprised but failing to hide his disappointment. I'm just curious about what happens next. Don't worry, it won't affect your chances, Kakashi said, still reading. That's it? I'm going to kick your ass. Naruto shouted, charging with a series of punches and kicks. Kakashi effortlessly blocked them. Naruto attempted a sweeping kick, but Kakashi disappeared, reappearing behind him in a tiger seal. A shinobi isn't supposed to get caught from behind, baka, Kakashi said, grinning. What? Sakura asked, astonished. His hand positioning, is he going to use ninjutsu on Naruto? Is he using the fire seal? Sasuke thought, realizing Kakashi was serious. Naruto. Run away. You're going to get killed. Sakura shouted. What? Naruto exclaimed, turning around. Too late, Kakashi said, smirking. On the outside, Naruto was sweating, but inside, he thought, I can't believe I let it get this far, but now it's time to get serious. His eyes shifted to the 12-point star of the Shiroigan, and a murderous glint appeared in Kakashi's eye. Kana Hagaku or Hiden Taijutsu Aji, Senin Garashi. Kakashi shouted, thrusting his fingers toward Naruto's rear. Just as Kakashi's fingers made contact, Naruto disappeared in a puff of smoke, leaving behind a log with an explosive note attached. Kakashi's eyes widened in surprise as the log exploded violently. The blast forced him back into the trees. That was unexpected, Kakashi thought. Maybe there's more to this kid than I thought. As Kakashi recovered, dozens of Naruto clones leaped from the trees, charging at him. Kakashi grinned. Shadow clones. So the rumors were true, he thought. Sakura and Sasuke were amazed that Naruto had formed over 30 clones, not just illusions. Kakashi quickly fended off the clones until only one remained, the real Naruto. He charged at Kakashi, but Kakashi landed a swift kick into Naruto's stomach, sending him sliding into the creek. Kakashi looked down at his side, seeing both bells still hanging from his pouch. Shrugging, he returned his focus to his book. Naruto. Sakura sighed, a bit disappointed, though she had been impressed by his efforts. From his perch, Sasuke saw Kakashi let his guard down. He threw a barrage of Konao and Shuriken, landing a hit on Kakashi's head. But it was a trap. Kakashi transformed into a log filled with blades. Sasuke quickly realized the situation. Damn. He's onto me, Sasuke thought, retreating into the woods. Sakura, worried about Sasuke, began running after him. But her attention shifted when she noticed Kakashi standing casually beneath the tree she was in. She froze, realizing that Kakashi hadn't noticed her yet. Sakura, behind you. A voice called. She spun around and found Kakashi standing right there. Before she could react, he sealed her with a jutsu that left her surrounded by leaves. Once the leaves cleared, Sakura saw Sasuke slumped against a tree, covered in Konao and Shuriken. Horror crossed her face as she watched him fall, lifeless. Sasuke. Sakura screamed, tears streaming down her face. Kakashi, nonchalantly reading his book, muttered, I think I might have overdone it with him. Shinobi fighting lesson #2. Genjutsu. Sakura easily fell for it. Meanwhile, Sasuke, realizing Sakura was under a genjutsu, had no time to react before the battle resumed. Kakashi, still one step ahead, mocked Sasuke's futile attacks as the two sparred. Despite Sasuke's skill, he couldn't claim a bell. What a guy. Kakashi thought, still holding the bells. I didn't even have time to read my book. Damn it, so this is what the test is really about. Naruto muttered, hopping down from the tree he'd been resting in. There's only about an hour left. I need to get Sasuke and Sakura on board. Next time, I shouldn't stop the vision until the test's really over. With that thought in mind, Naruto set off in search of his teammates, the jingle of something in his pouch ringing faintly behind him. I have to admit, you're different from the other two. Kakashi remarked, his eyes shifting as he noticed Sasuke forming hand seals. Katon, Gukakyu no Jutsu. Sasuke inhaled deeply and launched a massive fireball toward his sensei. What? Kakashi's voice rose in surprise. A genin shouldn't have that much chukar to pull off this jutsu. Before Kakashi could react, he was engulfed in the fireball. Sasuke smirked, but his expression faltered as the fireball dissipated, leaving only a crater behind. Where did he go? Is he in the air? Or, where is he? He wondered aloud. Right below you, came Kakashi's voice, surprising Sasuke. Doton, Shinjuzanshin no Jutsu. Before Sasuke could respond, Kakashi's hands shot up from the ground, grabbing Sasuke's ankles and yanking him down into the earth up to his shoulders. Shinobi lesson number 3, Ninjutsu, Kakashi said, his tone somewhat approving. You're ahead of the rest, but you still have room to improve. Damn you. Sasuke cursed, struggling in the dirt. Naruto, meanwhile, was grinning as he seized the opportunity. Why bother fighting for a bell when I could just sneak off and enjoy all the food? He exclaimed, grabbing the 2 bento boxes sitting on a nearby rock. Hey there. Kakashi's voice came from behind as he appeared on top of the stone. What do you think you're doing? Sasuke, meanwhile, was still trying to free himself from the ground, glancing around for help. Just then, Sakura dashed into the scene and froze upon seeing Sasuke with only his head exposed. She passed out on the spot. Sasuke groaned in frustration, but just as he was about to speak, Naruto appeared beside him, grinning. Need some help? He asked, starting to dig Sasuke out of the hole. He also worked on waking up Sakura. We don't have much time left, Sasuke said as he stood, brushing dirt from his clothes. I'm going again. Sasuke-kun, you're really going after the bell? Sakura asked, her voice tinged with concern. I almost had one. I'll get it next time, Sasuke replied, determination clear in his voice. Sakura looked worried. At this rate, there's no way I can get a bell. I might end up being separated from Sasuke-kun. Or we could do what this test was actually meant for, Naruto interjected. What do you mean? Asked Sakura. Why would they give us a 3-man team only to let 2 of us pass? Naruto questioned. I don't have time for that, Sasuke muttered. I need to get stronger and surpass him, the one I need to kill. And that's exactly the mindset that'll make us fail, Naruto countered. The answer to passing this test is teamwork. Both Sakura and Sasuke paused. Naruto's words finally made sense. Didn't we learn in the academy that ninjas work in teams? Naruto continued. This test is designed to make us fight each other for 2 bells. Sasuke and Sakura exchanged looks. So we need to work together to get the bells? Sasuke asked. Yeah, exactly, Naruto confirmed. At that moment, Kakashi rang a bell from his pouch, causing everyone to look in surprise. Wait, if Naruto's there? Sakura began, but before she could finish, she saw Naruto tied to a post beside Kakashi. Shadow clone, Kakashi muttered to himself. I didn't expect this from him. Sasuke looked stunned. How did he get one? I swapped it out with the shadow clone when you were too busy fighting off 50 of them, Naruto explained casually. Well, Naruto can eat while the rest of you get tied to the posts, Kakashi said, grabbing Sasuke and Sakura to tie them up. What? We pass? Sakura asked, astonished. Naruto, already anticipating this, smirked. In fact, Naruto's the only one passing, Kakashi said. The 2 of you should consider quitting. Sakura's face paled, and Sasuke glared at Kakashi. Naruto, however, didn't seem fazed. I only got the bell because you underestimated me, Kakashi admitted. But that won't happen again. I can't send you back to the academy, Kakashi continued. You're not ready to be shinobi yet. Sakura looked at the stone nearby, where names were carved. Those names represent shinobi who died on duty, Kakashi said, the gravity of the moment settling in. You're getting another chance, Kakashi added. But I'll make it harder. And Naruto, I'm giving you a choice. You can trade your bell for food. But if you take it, you can't share it? Naruto thought for a moment and tossed the bell to Kakashi. The Jounin handed him some food in return. As Kakashi left, Naruto opened the bento and set it down between his teammates. We need to eat, he said. Hurry up before Kakashi comes back. Naruto, why'd you give up your bell? Sasuke asked, confused. Because we need the energy more than I need the bell, Naruto answered, helping Sasuke and Sakura out of their ropes. Sakura was about to ask about Naruto's earlier actions, but Sasuke cut her off. Just leave it. He'll tell us when he's ready. As the three of them ate, Sakura spoke up. Naruto. I'm sorry for what I said yesterday. I understand, Naruto replied. I might have been a little annoying. I won't bug you about it anymore. Sasuke sighed, an unusual expression on his face. Just don't pull any more stunts like that, he muttered. Kakashi reappeared, looking at the cut ropes and the half-eaten bento box. I told you not to feed them. He scolded. But then, his tone shifted. You pass. What? Sakura exclaimed. You pass, Kakashi repeated with a grin. You guys are the first. The others just did whatever I told them. A ninja has to see underneath the underneath. Those who break the rules are trash, but those who don't care for their comrades are worse. The three of them stared in shock, but Kakashi's next words hit hard. In the real world, if you hadn't worked together, you'd all be dead. Now, go to the Hokage's office tomorrow, Kakashi continued. Naruto, he's asking for you too. At the Hokage's office, Sarutobi greeted them, already aware of the situation. Kakashi then addressed Naruto, knowing what had happened in the training ground. I knew you'd use the Seningarashi, Kakashi said, impressed. You had that log set up from the start. That's why I'm here, right, Jiji? Naruto asked, knowing the inevitable question was coming. The Hokage nodded. Kakashi, as one of the few I trust, you'll be briefed about Naruto's bloodline. The Sandaime gestured to Naruto, who activated his Sharingan. Kakashi stared, visibly stunned. So that's why you knew. He muttered, realizing the gravity of the situation. And the Seningarashi too. Naruto remained silent, letting the tension hang in the air. Kakashi had just uncovered a layer of mystery he hadn't expected from his student. You're late. Naruto's voice rang out as Team 7 waited for their perpetually tardy sensei. Sorry about that, Kakashi replied lazily, scratching the back of his head. I got lost on the road of life. The team's sweat dropped in unison. Is this going to be a thing? Naruto asked, already fed up. He activated his dojutsu for a moment, then rolled his eyes. Wait, no need. He's been late 3 times out of 3. Of course, this is going to be a thing. Ignoring the remark, Kakashi moved on. Anyway, today marks the beginning of your duties as shinobi of the leaf. The other day, Naruto, you asked why training was so important. You thought you'd done enough at the academy, right? Naruto shrugged, and Kakashi continued, well, let me tell you something, a shinobi never stops training if they want to achieve their goals. So, here's the plan. Mornings are for training. Afternoons, we'll handle missions. Sound good? The group nodded until they saw Kakashi's version of training, team building exercises. If they thought those were bad, the mission awaiting them was worse. Through a small earpiece, Kakashi's voice came through. Distance to the target. 5 meters, Sasuke answered sharply. Ready when you are. So am I, Sakura added. Me too, Naruto chimed in. On my mark, go. Kakashi called out. The 3 genin sprang into action, darting out of their hiding spots. Gotcha! Naruto shouted triumphantly as his hands latched onto a blur of fur. Nay! Screeched the cat, flailing wildly. Kakashi walked over calmly. Ribbon on the left ear. Yep, that's Tora. Mission complete. As Naruto wrestled with the clawing feline, they made their way to the Hokage's office, where Tora's overjoyed owner smothered the cat. No wonder it ran away, Sakura muttered under her breath. Huh? Who's the boss now, you stupid cat? Naruto smirked, ignoring the fresh scratches on his face. The Hokage dismissed them for the day, but Naruto wasn't happy. What kind of mission was that? I thought ninja did cool stuff like saving princesses or fighting enemy shinobi. Kakashi shrugged. Everyone starts somewhere. Same time tomorrow. Better be a cooler mission, Naruto grumbled as Kakashi vanished in a puff of smoke. Later, Team 7 ran into Shikamaru, Shuji, and Ino from Team 10. You guys survived Kakashi's test? Shikamaru asked, stifling a yawn. We're getting ramen to celebrate. Want to join? Naruto offered. By the time they reached Ichiraku, Sakura and Ino were already fighting over who got to sit next to Sasuke. So, you had to grab bells? Shikamaru asked, amused. Yeah, Naruto replied, grinning. And I got one. Really? Ino gasped. But then he traded it for lunch, Sakura cut in. Sounds fair to me, Shuji said, nodding approvingly. The conversation shifted to missions, and Team 10 groaned about their babysitting job. You think that's bad? We had to catch a cat. Naruto complained. Ouch. That's rough, Shikamaru sympathized. 2 weeks passed, and Kakashi's tardiness remained consistent. Naruto finally lost his patience. No more team-building exercises. Teach us something cool already? He shouted. Kakashi's single visible eye curved into a smile. All right, but in exchange, you'll do 2 D-rank missions today. Deal? Grudgingly, they agreed. After a long day of weeding gardens and picking trash from a river, Naruto collapsed into bed, muttering, tomorrow better be worth it. The next day, Kakashi was later than ever. Nearly 3 hours passed before he showed up. Relax, he said, raising his hands defensively. Today, I'm teaching you something important, chakra control. Sakura launched into a textbook explanation of chakra. So what's the skill? Kakashi smiled. Tree climbing. Naruto blinked. We already know how to climb trees. Not like this, Kakashi replied, walking up a tree effortlessly, hands in his pockets. The demonstration left them speechless. Focus chakra into your feet and climb. Use a kunao to mark your progress. Naruto was eager to try but stumbled after just one step. Sasuke's first attempt was too forceful, and the tree cracked under his foot. Meanwhile, Sakura scaled the trunk with ease. Huh, I thought so, Kakashi mused. Sakura has less chakra than you two, but her control is precise. Keep practicing, and you'll improve. Naruto and Sasuke exchanged determined glances. The competition was on. And just like that, Kakashi left them to it, vanishing as usual. Typical, Naruto muttered before launching himself at the tree again. Over the next few days, Naruto and Sasuke continued their training with increasing determination. On the 3rd day of their chakra control exercise, both boys finally mastered tree climbing, though not without fierce competition. One night, Naruto had tried to use his unique dojutsu to gain an advantage by glimpsing a vision of himself completing the exercise. Unfortunately, the vision offered no shortcuts, as he achieved success through trial and error. Frustrated but undeterred, Naruto resolved to keep pushing himself. By the end of the 3rd day, Sasuke reached the top of the tree just one attempt ahead of Naruto. This minor victory stoked the flames of their growing rivalry. Sasuke may have edged Naruto out in tree climbing, but Naruto still held his earlier success in the bell test as a point of pride. With their competition now tied, both boys felt a stronger drive to outdo each other. Sakura, on the other hand, had mastered the tree climbing exercise within the first few hours of their training. However, she found herself struggling to keep up with Naruto and Sasuke's superior chakra reserves and stamina. At Kakashi's suggestion, she continued practicing to the point of exhaustion, gradually improving her stamina. The team's day settled into a rhythm, alternating between training and mundane D-rank missions. Kakashi, true to his reputation, often arrived late, leaving the team to train on their own until he showed up. Despite this, the three genin managed to make steady progress, with Naruto and Sasuke constantly pushing each other to improve. A week later, Kakashi decided it was time to move on to a new exercise. Gathering the team by the stream, he explained the principles of water walking, maintaining a constant flow of chakra to remain balanced on the water's surface. "Sakura, you go first," Kakashi instructed, curious to see how she'd fare. Nervously, Sakura stepped onto the water, carefully channeling her chakra. To everyone's surprise, she succeeded on her first attempt, taking a few unsteady steps before faltering. Naruto cheered loudly, and even Sasuke gave her an approving nod. Embarrassed by the attention, Sakura lost focus and promptly fell into the stream, resurfacing red-faced but determined. Sakura mastered water walking by the end of the day, but Naruto and Sasuke took a few more days to catch up. Just like with tree climbing, Sasuke managed to complete the exercise one attempt ahead of Naruto, further fueling their competitive streak. By the end of the second week of chakra control training, tensions within the team began to rise. The monotony of D-rank missions grated on Naruto and Sasuke, who were eager for more challenging tasks. One evening, after a particularly tiresome day, Naruto found himself at Ichiraku Ramen, enjoying a well-deserved meal when Kakashi unexpectedly joined him. "I'll have what he's having, but a smaller portion," Kakashi told the chef as he took a seat next to Naruto. "Kakashi-sensei? What are you doing here?" Naruto asked, surprised to see his teacher outside of training. "Yo," Kakashi greeted casually. "I was wandering around, pondering the mysteries of life, when I suddenly found myself here." Naruto rolled his eyes at the obvious excuse but decided to play along. "Well, of course, you ended up here. The meaning of life is ramen," he quipped, earning a rare chuckle from Kakashi. "Actually, I came to talk about something important," Kakashi said, lowering his voice. "I've noticed you haven't been using your special ability much during training." Naruto hesitated, then admitted, "I've been practicing it at home, but I'm not sure I want Sakura-chan or Sasuke to find out yet." "You're still unsure about trusting them with your secret?" Kakashi asked. "I trust them," Naruto replied quickly. "Sakura-chan's been really helpful during training, and Sasuke, well, I think I understand him better now. He's not just some arrogant jerk, he's lonely, like me. He needs someone to challenge him, and I think I'd become that person." Kakashi nodded, impressed by Naruto's insight. "That's good to hear. Trust is vital for a team to function. But keeping secrets from your comrades can backfire. You should consider telling them soon." Naruto mulled this over as Kakashi continued, "I'm planning to request a C-rank mission for us tomorrow. It'll be more dangerous than what you're used to, and having your teammates aware of your abilities could make all the difference." After a moment of thought, Naruto nodded. "Okay. I'll tell them either during the mission or after, depending on how things go." "Good choice," Kakashi said with a smile. As he stood to leave, Naruto realized with a groan that his sensei had left him with the bill for his ramen. "All right, Team 7, the Hokage began, flipping through a stack of scrolls. "Your next mission options are, babysitting an elder's grandson, running errands in a neighboring village, or Tora's gone missing again. The Catch Tora mission is back." The announcement made everyone in Team 7 groan collectively. Even the usually stoic Sasuke winced, while Sakura sighed in resignation. Naruto, however, wasn't going down without a fight. "No. No more lame chores," Naruto shouted, crossing his arms into an emphatic X. "I'm a ninja, not some errand boy." Kakashi, stepping in before the Hokage could respond, said calmly, "Hokage-sama, with all due respect, I believe my team is ready for something more challenging. Sasuke perked up at the mention of a more difficult mission. Meanwhile, Iruka, standing nearby, immediately voiced his objections. They've only been genin for a month. Most teams don't take on C-rank missions until at least 4 to 6 months in. Maybe 2 months at the earliest, and that's for exceptional cases, Iruka protested. Kakashi tilted his head slightly in Naruto's direction, his expression unreadable. I think my team qualifies as an exceptional case. Besides, I'll be there to supervise. A simple C-rank mission shouldn't pose any real problems. The Hokage raised an eyebrow. Are you certain, Kakashi? I am, Kakashi replied, his tone firm. If anything unexpected happens, I can handle it. After a moment's deliberation, the Hokage nodded. Very well. I'll assign you a low-risk protection mission. He sifted through the scrolls on his desk before selecting one. Here we are. Escort a client back to his country and ensure his safety. Send him in. Moments later, a scruffy, gray-haired man with a large backpack and the smell of sake wafting off him stumbled into the room. His eyes immediately narrowed as he sized up the young genin. What's this? A bunch of kids? Especially the short one with the dumb-looking face, the man said, pointing at Naruto. Who are you calling short with a dumb face? Naruto exploded, nearly lunging at the man. The old man ignored the outburst, introducing himself with exaggerated bravado. I am Tajuna, the world-renowned super expert bridge builder. You brats better keep me alive until I finish my super important bridge. Naruto muttered under his breath, this guy says super way too much. He's like a drunk version of that time guy from the academy. As Team 7 left the mission hall, they crossed paths with Team 8. Naruto leaned over to Kiba and said ominously, better watch out. The Kagetora mission is back. Kiba froze. Will, come back for our mission later, he muttered, retreating with his teammates. Hinata, meanwhile, tried and failed to look anywhere other than Naruto's bright orange jacket. As Team 7 exited Konoha's gates for the first time, Naruto was practically bouncing with excitement. Wow! This is my first time outside the village, he exclaimed, marveling at the open road ahead. Tajuna leaned toward Kakashi and whispered, Are you sure this brat can keep me safe? Naruto heard and glared at him, but Kakashi intervened with a sigh. Focus, everyone. Keep your guard up. Several hours into their journey, Kakashi began explaining the 5 great nations and their respective hidden villages. He also noted that Nami no Kuni, their destination, was a smaller country without a shinobi village of its own. As the team marched on, a small puddle appeared on the otherwise dry path. Kakashi's gaze lingered on it briefly. It hasn't rained in days. That's suspicious. Naruto, however, froze the moment his Sharingan activated. His star-shaped dojutsu revealed 2 chakra signatures hiding in the puddle. He glanced at Kakashi, who gave him a subtle hand signal to stay calm. Seconds later, the puddle exploded, and 2 masked ninja wielding claws leapt out, their kirigaku or headbands slashed. The chains they carried wrapped around Kakashi in an instant. What? Sakura screamed as the chains tightened. With a yank, the attackers shredded Kakashi into pieces. Sensei! Naruto yelled, but something flickered in his eyes as his Sharingan fully awakened. The sight of Kakashi's apparent death made his heart pound, yet his dojutsu allowed him to predict the next move. Sasuke reacted quickly, throwing shuriken and kunao to pin the chain to a tree. He charged forward, landing a kick that forced the attackers to stumble back. Stay alert, he shouted, though his eyes briefly caught the strange change in Naruto's. Recovering, the ninja refocused their efforts on Tajuna. Naruto clenched his fists. No way I'm letting them win, he thought. Shadow Clone Jutsu. A single clone appeared, crouching low. Sasuke and Naruto moved in sync. Sasuke delivered a precise kick to their heads as Naruto and his clone delivered a double uppercut, knocking them back. But the attackers quickly adjusted, darting past the genin and closing in on Tajuna. Sakura stepped forward, now ready, but before she could act, Kakashi appeared in a blur, disarming and incapacitating both enemies. "Nice work, everyone," Kakashi said with a smile, seemingly unharmed. The shredded remains of a log lay where he had been attacked. "Now, Tajuna, we need to talk." After dragging the attackers into the woods, Kakashi returned. Tajuna, looking sheepish, confessed the truth. "I lied about the mission's rank. I couldn't afford higher protection. My country is suffering under Gado's tyranny." The team listened as Tajuna described Nami no Kune's plight and the importance of completing his bridge. Moved by his words and perhaps eager for the challenge, Naruto declared, "We're finishing this mission. No way we're backing out now." Though hesitant, Sakura agreed, and Sasuke smirked. "Fine. But this better be worth it." With their resolve strengthened, Team 7 pressed on toward the Land of Waves, their first real mission now fraught with danger. In a secluded forest hideaway, a short, irate man in a pinstripe suit vented his frustration. "You failed. I pay you a fortune, and all I ask is for you to finish off one old man," he shouted at the swordsman sitting across from him. The swordsman, bandages covering the lower half of his face and a scratched kirigaku or hitaite on his head, gripped the enormous broadsword on his back with an annoyed expression. "Stop whining," the swordsman snapped, standing up and hefting his weapon, the Kyobikuri Bisho. "This time, I'll handle it myself and I'll finish them all." The shorter man raised an eyebrow, his tone mocking. "Are you sure? The enemy has brought skilled ninja into the fold. With the Demon Brothers' failure, they'll be on high alert." The bandaged man smirked. "You think I'm afraid? I'm Mamakai Zabuza, the demon of the hidden mist." Meanwhile, Team 7 and Tajuna were nearing the Land of Waves. Naruto's excitement broke through the tension as he saw the massive bridge ahead. "Wow! It's huge!" he exclaimed, his voice carrying across the misty waters. "Be quiet!" hissed the ferryman steering the boat. "Do you want Gado's men to find us? Stay low and keep your voice down." The group disembarked at a secluded dock after the ferryman chose a safer, hidden route. "All right, get me home in one piece," Tajuna demanded. Kakashi scanned the surroundings, his expression tense. "If we're attacked again, it'll be a Jonin-level opponent," he thought grimly. Suddenly, Naruto's instincts flared, and his eyes darted toward the tree line. "Watch out!" he yelled. A massive blade whistled through the air, forcing everyone to duck. It embedded itself into a nearby tree, and the figure of a man landed gracefully atop it. Kakashi's visible eye narrowed. "Mamakai Zabuza," he said. "A missing nin from Kirigakure." Naruto began to charge at the rogue ninja, but Kakashi quickly held out an arm to stop him. "Don't be reckless. This isn't an opponent you can handle. Protect Tajuna and watch your surroundings." As Zabuza assessed the group, he smirked beneath his bandages. Well. If it isn't Cherry Non Kakashi. I wasn't expecting to see you here." Kakashi lifted his headband to reveal his Cherry Non, prompting a mixture of shock and awe from his students. "The Cherry Non," Sasuke muttered, his mind racing. "But how does he have it? He's not an Uchiha." "Shall we begin?" Zabuza asked, his voice filled with sinister amusement. He leapt into the river and performed hand seals. Suten, Kirigakure no Jutsu. A thick mist rolled in, shrouding the area in near total opacity. "Stay sharp," Kakashi instructed. "Zabuza is a master of silent killing. You won't notice him until it's too late." He glanced at Naruto. "Your eyes could help here, but I'll handle Zabuza. Keep protecting Tajuna." A disembodied voice echoed through the mist, chilling them to the bone. So many targets. Heart, lungs, liver, spine. Which one should I cut first? The oppressive killing intent hit them like a wave, paralyzing Sasuke with fear. His hands trembled as he reached for a kunai, ready to end his own life just to escape the suffocating pressure. Sasuke. Kakashi's sharp voice jolted him back to reality. Don't give in. I'll protect you all, even if it costs me my life. Before they could react, Zabuza appeared among them, his blade raised. But Kakashi was faster, engaging the rogue ninja and forcing him back into the mist. A sudden strike seemed to finish Zabuza, but his body dissolved into water. A water clone, Kakashi realized, narrowly evading a surprise attack. The two jonin exchanged blows, their movements blurring with speed. Meanwhile, Zabuza's clones targeted the genin. One lunged at Tajuna, only to be intercepted by Sasuke's fireball jutsu. The other engaged Naruto, who summoned dozens of shadow clones to surround it. Despite their efforts, the clone overpowered both genin, knocking them back. We can't beat him head-on, Naruto panted, glancing at Sasuke. Got a plan? Sasuke smirked. You handle the distraction. I'll take him out. Naruto nodded, pulling out a large Fumi shuriken. Sasuke launched another fireball, forcing the clone to dodge. In the chaos, Naruto hurled the shuriken, which flew straight at the clone before transforming into Naruto mid-flight. The surprise attack caught the clone off guard, and it dissolved under Sasuke's follow-up attack. With his students handling the clones, Kakashi refocused on Zabuza. The two ninjas mirrored each other's movements, trading blows and jutsu in a deadly dance. Zabuza's frustration mounted as Kakashi's Sharingan seemed to predict his every move. Impossible. Are you reading my mind? Zabuza snarled, sweat dripping down his face. Not quite, Kakashi replied calmly. But I know what you'll do before you do it. Enraged, Zabuza launched his strongest jutsu. But Kakashi was faster, finishing the seals before Zabuza could complete them. Suten, Daibakofu no Jutsu. A massive torrent of water blasted Zabuza, slamming him into a tree and immobilizing him. As Kakashi approached to finish the fight, two senbon needles flew through the air, piercing Zabuza's neck. His body went limp, and a masked figure appeared. I've dealt with him, the figure said, their tone calm. I'll take it from here. As Naruto's future sight ability had a limited time window of only a few seconds when he wasn't fully concentrating or when his eyes seemed to act on their own, his warning to Kakashi didn't come quickly enough. Before anyone could react, a pair of senbon needles pierced Zabuza's neck. Heh, you were right. He's dead, a calm voice called from above. Everyone turned their gaze upwards to see a ninja in a long robe and an umbu-style mask, bearing the emblem of Kirigakure, perched on a tree branch. Kakashi, after jumping down to check Zabuza's body, confirmed, he really is dead. The masked figure leaped gracefully from the tree and bowed. Thank you. I've been waiting for the chance to eliminate Zabuza for a long time. Kakashi stood and regarded the figure. That mask. Are you a hunter nin from Kirigakure? The figure nodded. That is correct. Hunter nin? Sakura asked, puzzled. They're ninja tasked with hunting down and disposing of missing nin, Kakashi explained. Naruto stared at the hunter nin, confusion and disbelief swirling within him. He was so strong, and yet, he was taken down just like that by a kid. How does that even make sense? Kakashi sighed, understanding Naruto's turmoil. Naruto, there are ninja out there younger than you but stronger than me. This is the reality of our world. Before Naruto could respond, the hunter nin vanished, reappearing beside Zabuza's body, and carried it away in a flash. Kakashi turned to the group. Let's get Tajuna home safely. We need to move. However, As Kakashi took his first step, he collapsed to the ground. Damn, I overdid it with the Sharingan. Once they reached Tajuna's house, a young woman, Tsunami, greeted them warmly. Kakashi was laid on a futon in a spare room, and the rest of the team settled onto cushions in the living room, exhaustion weighing heavily on them. "Sensei, are you okay?" Sakura asked. "I'll be fine, but I'm out of commission for at least a week," Kakashi admitted. "Using the Sharingan drained too much of my chakra." Tajuna tried to reassure the group. "With Zabuza gone, we should be safe for a while." Sakura, still curious, asked, "Who was that masked ninja anyway?" Kakashi launched into an explanation about Kirigakuru's hunter nin, their purpose, and methods. However, the more he explained, the more uneasy he became. Finally, his face darkened as he reached a chilling conclusion. "Zabuza is alive." "What? But we saw him die," Sakura exclaimed. "Yes, but think about it," Kakashi replied. Hunter nin dispose of bodies on the spot to prevent their secrets from being exposed. Yet, this one took the entire body with them. And those senbon? They aren't typically lethal, they can induce a death-like state. Sakura's eyes widened. So, that hunter nin was working with Zabuza. "It's very likely," Kakashi confirmed grimly. "We should expect another attack soon, perhaps from Zabuza or someone even stronger. We've got a week at best to prepare." "What kind of preparation?" Naruto asked, eager. "For the next week, you'll train while rotating shifts to guard Tajuna. You've all grown significantly during this mission, and I plan to push you further." Their conversation was interrupted by a young boy entering the room. Tajuna smiled. "Inari. Come say hello to our ninja protectors." Instead of greeting them, Inari turned to his mother, Tsunami, and declared, "They're going to die." Naruto and Sakura both shouted, "What?" while Sasuke raised an eyebrow, silently questioning the boy's boldness. "You can't win against Gato," Inari said coldly. Naruto leapt to his feet. "What did you say, you little brat? Listen here, I'm going to be Hokage someday. That Gato guy doesn't stand a chance against me." Inari sneered. "There's no such thing as heroes. If you want to live, leave." Naruto fumed but stormed away instead of engaging further. When he reached Inari's door, however, he paused, hearing the boy sobbing softly. His anger subsided, and he chose to leave Inari alone for the time being. Later that evening, as the team settled into their sleeping arrangements, Sasuke confronted Naruto. "So, when were you planning to tell us about your bloodline ability?" Naruto scratched the back of his head sheepishly. "I was going to tell you after this mission. The Hokage told me to keep it a secret. It's apparently a long-lost bloodline, and other villages might try to steal it if they find out." Sasuke's glare intensified. "And yet, we've already been attacked by ninja." "Great timing, Naruto." Naruto groaned. "I'm sorry, okay. I didn't mean for things to get this complicated." Despite his frustration, Sasuke pushed further. "Fine. Tell us everything you know about it." Naruto explained what little he understood about his Sharingan, emphasizing its ability to see moments into the future. Sakura and Sasuke bombarded him with questions. Sasuke wanted to know about his Sharingan and his future battles, while Sakura focused on trivial matters like potential dates with Sasuke. Naruto sighed, resisting the urge to repeatedly slam his head against the wall. "I can't see that far into the future," Naruto finally admitted. "Right now, it's only a few days at most. If I focus and practice, maybe it'll improve, but that's all I've got." Sasuke and Sakura both sighed in disappointment, though Sasuke's curiosity about Naruto's powers clearly hadn't waned. As the conversation trailed off, the team prepared for what would undoubtedly be a challenging week ahead. Gato's hideout was a dimly lit room filled with the stench of stale alcohol and tension. The diminutive tycoon, Gato, lounged smugly in a chair flanked by two hulking bodyguards, each gripping swords that gleamed menacingly in the low light. A cruel smirk spread across Gato's face as he sneered at the figure before him. "So, even you came back defeated," he mocked, his tone dripping with contempt. "Looks like the so-called demon of the mist is nothing but a joke. Can't even avenge your own men, can you?" Zabuza sat silently, his breathing heavy as a young girl carefully tended to his wounds. Gato's mocking tone grated on her nerves, but she kept her expression neutral, wary of the thugs at Gato's side. The tycoon leaned forward, his leer turning vile. "I bet I could take that little assistant of yours. There's nothing you could do to stop me." His hand reached toward the girl. It was a fatal mistake. With blinding speed, Haku grabbed Gato's arm, twisting it sharply. A sickening crack echoed as his bone snapped. Gato screamed, stumbling back, but his bodyguards immediately moved to retaliate. Before they could raise their weapons, Haku snatched their swords and held the blades against their throats in one fluid motion. Shock and fear froze the guards in place. "Fine," Gato spat, cradling his broken arm. "One more chance. But if you fail again, you're done. Don't expect any more help from me." He stormed out, his bodyguards trailing behind him. Zabuza glanced at Haku, his expression unreadable. "You didn't have to do that," he said, shifting slightly to reveal a kunao hidden beneath the blanket covering him. "I could have handled him." "I know, Zabuza-sama," Haku replied softly, setting the swords aside. "But it's too soon to get rid of him. We can't afford to draw attention to ourselves right now. We need to be patient." Outside Tajuna's home, Kakashi stood before his team in a small clearing. "From now on, one of you will guard Tajuna while the other two stay here to train," he announced. "You've all made progress with chakra control, but today, I want to focus on something different." Naruto's eyes lit up with excitement. "Does that mean you're teaching us a new jutsu, Kakashi-sensei?" "Not quite," Kakashi replied, shaking his head. "I want to expand on your understanding of chakra. As ninja, we use chakra for jutsu, but it also enhances our physical abilities like speed and strength. Based on your individual skills, Naruto and Sasuke will start with speed training, while Sakura will focus on strength." Kakashi turned to Sakura. "You have exceptional chakra control, which is vital for enhancing strength. One of the legendary Sunin, Tsunade, is famous for her ability to use precise chakra control to unleash immense power. It's said she could split the ground with a single punch." Sakura's eyes widened in awe, while Kakashi continued, turning to Naruto and Sasuke. "As for you two, you both have larger chakra reserves, which are better suited for speed training. This is how the Shunshin no Jutsu body flicker technique works. Sasuke, you might recognize the name Uchiha Shisui." Sasuke's head snapped up, his interest piqued. He'd heard of Shisui, known as Shisui of the Body Flicker, a legendary shinobi of the Uchiha clan. Shisui was so skilled with the Shunshin that he was considered one of the fastest shinobi in the village, Kakashi said. "I'll teach you both the basics, and we'll work from there." Kakashi spent the next few hours coaching Naruto and Sasuke on channeling chakra to their legs for bursts of speed. The exercise was simple: one would drop a rock, and the other had to grab it before it hit the ground. Though repetitive, it was effective. Between exercises, Naruto and Sasuke's competitive nature led to sparring matches, which proved invaluable for Naruto as he practiced using his Sharingan. The dojutsu allowed him to anticipate Sasuke's moves, and despite Sasuke activating his Sharingan, he couldn't land a single hit on the blonde. Meanwhile, Sakura's training focused on refining her chakra control to enhance her strength. Kakashi offered occasional hints about the Shunshin technique, hoping she'd pick up on them. However, he couldn't ignore a glaring issue: Sakura's fitness level lagged behind her teammates. Moreover, Her lingering infatuation with Suzuki often left her distracted during training sessions. Kakashi knew he'd have to address these shortcomings eventually. Later that day, Sakura accompanied Tajuna to the village. As they walked through the streets, the dire state of the wave country became painfully clear. Starving villagers loitered in the streets, their faces gaunt and eyes hollow. A man wearing a sign that read "Will work for food" stood on a corner, and children rummaged through trash for scraps. Sakura's heart ached at the sight. At one point, a hand brushed against her satchel. Whirling around, she caught a man trying to pickpocket her. "Pervert!" she screamed, delivering a chakra-enhanced punch that sent the man flying into a pile of crates. The onlookers stared in shock as Sakura brushed herself off. Moments later, she felt another tug, but this time it was a frail child. Seeing the desperation in the child's eyes, Sakura handed over some candy from her bag, earning a timid smile. Tajuna sighed deeply. "This is why we need the bridge," he said. "It's more than just a structure, it's a symbol of hope. If we can finish it, the people might find the courage to stand up to Gato." That evening, the team gathered at Tajuna's home for dinner. Naruto and Suzuki competed over who could eat the most bowls of rice, much to Tsunami's exasperation. Meanwhile, Sakura noticed a torn photograph on the wall and asked about it. Tajuna explained that the missing figure was Kaiza, a brave man who had once inspired the villagers. Kaiza had been executed by Gato, shattering the town's last glimmer of hope. The room fell silent, the weight of the story settling over them. Naruto stood abruptly, his eyes blazing with determination. "Where are you going?" Sakura asked. Naruto clenched his fists. "To prove that heroes still exist. This country deserves a brighter future. I'll make sure they get it, I guarantee it." His Sharingan flickered briefly before he stormed out, leaving the others in stunned silence. The morning light filtered through the trees, rousing Naruto from his deep slumber in a quiet clearing within the forest. His body was sore from pushing himself to the limit during his training the previous night, his exhaustion evident as he had passed out right where he had fallen. But he was not alone. A young girl, likely a couple of years older than him, walked calmly through a patch of the forest rich with medicinal herbs. As she gathered them, she noticed something strange on the ground, a bundle of orange fabric. Upon closer inspection, she saw the Konoha headband adorning the boy's forehead. "He's one of the ninjas that fought Zabuza-sama," Haku thought to herself, recognizing the headband. With curiosity piqued, she bent down and gently shook the boy's shoulder to wake him. As soon as Naruto felt the pressure on his shoulder, his Sharingan flared to life, his senses overwhelmed by an influx of visions. The scene that flooded his mind was familiar but distant, as though he were watching himself in another time. It was the day Zabuza and his accomplice had come to finish their mission. He saw Suzuki battling the masked figure, locking grips with them in a desperate attempt to hold his ground. Then, the vision shifted to something even more intense, the masked ninja forming hand signs and summoning a wave of sharp, water-based needles, which Suzuki narrowly dodged, aided by his newfound speed from recent training. But things soon spiraled downward. The masked figure encased Suzuki in a dome of ice mirrors, and before Suzuki could react, the girl began her barrage of senbon, piercing Suzuki's body. The vision was painful to watch, and Naruto's heart pounded in his chest. The fight was taking a terrible turn. Naruto then saw himself rush in, making the reckless decision to charge in and try to help Suzuki. His own clones were quickly dispelled, and before long, he was bombarded by the same needles. Despite their best efforts, both he and Suzuki were overwhelmed. Suzuki, now riddled with senbon, fell to the ground, struggling to speak. "What's with that face, you moron?" Suzuki muttered weakly, blood oozing from his injuries. "I don't know, my body just moved on its own." And then, Suzuki was still. The anger that surged through Naruto was terrifying. A dark chakra enveloped him, his rage fueling the terrifying transformation that began to take hold of his body. His movements became almost unrecognizable, as if a feral instinct had overtaken him. With a mighty punch, Naruto shattered one of the ice mirrors before the masked girl had a chance to flee. The fragments flew through the air, and the girl was sent flying backward, crashing into the bridge's barrier. But as the mask came off, revealing the girl he had seen before, Naruto froze. The fury that had overwhelmed him seemed to dissipate in an instant, replaced by confusion. "Why did you stop?" she asked, her voice tinged with mockery. "I finished your precious friend, yet you can't finish me." Naruto glanced down at Sasuke's lifeless body, his fists trembling with suppressed rage. He wanted to strike, but he found himself unable to summon the same strength as before. The girl looked at him with cold eyes. There are people who make the mistake of not finishing their enemies, showing mercy when they should not. Do you understand? The pain of being unwanted, of living without a purpose. Naruto's mind raced. He could understand that feeling all too well. Her words cut through him as he saw the resemblance between their lives, both burdened by loneliness and misunderstood power. She continued, explaining her painful past, the torment of being born with a feared bloodline. Her father, unable to accept the power within her, had tried to kill her and her mother. In a cruel twist, the girl's powers activated, ending her father's life and the lives of those who sought her destruction. From then on, she had wandered alone, a victim of hatred and fear, with no one to turn to. "I realized something back then," the girl said, her voice cracking. "The most painful thing in the world is knowing you are unwanted." Naruto could feel the weight of her words, understanding them deeply. She wasn't so different from him. Both of them were outcasts, marked by something they couldn't control. The girl's eyes softened. But when someone acknowledges you, when they truly see you, wouldn't that person become the most important in your life? Naruto's mind flashed to Iruka-sensei, the only person who had ever truly acknowledged him. He could understand the girl's attachment to Zabuza, how someone who gave her purpose would become irreplaceable. "Zabuza-sama took me in, gave me a reason to live," she said, her voice filled with a quiet reverence. "I would follow him anywhere, just to see his goals achieved." "I'm sorry, Zabuza-sama," she murmured, "I couldn't be the weapon you wanted me to be." With those final words, she asked Naruto one last request. "Finish me." The vision flickered forward to the moment where Naruto, torn and hesitant, stood before the girl, his fist raised in reluctant readiness. He would likely never have done it, but the moment was shattered when the girl, sensing an opening, kicked Naruto hard in the stomach, retreating into an ice mirror before he could react. Naruto, bewildered, scrambled to find her, the mist still clouding his vision. When he did find her, his heart sank. There she was, standing between Kakashi and Zabuza, her body pierced by Kakashi's hand, the life slowly draining from her. Haku, the girl he had been talking to, had sacrificed herself as a shield for Zabuza, ensuring his survival even as her own life slipped away. Naruto watched in horror as Zabuza laughed cruelly, preparing to strike down Kakashi. But before he could, Kakashi leaped away, carrying Haku's lifeless body to Naruto and gently laying her down beside him. Naruto stared at her body, a profound sadness settling over him. Her death seemed so senseless, a final act of devotion for someone who had never truly cared for her. Kakashi stood over them, his voice firm. "Naruto, stay here," he instructed, as he closed Haku's eyes. Despite the violence of her end, there was a strange peace on her face, as though she had fulfilled her purpose. Naruto, overwhelmed by the sadness of it all, chose to end the vision there. He didn't want to know how the battle between Kakashi and Zabuza ended. He couldn't bear to think about Haku's sacrifice for someone like Zabuza. Just as the vision faded, Naruto felt the weight of a hand on his shoulder. Startled, he opened his eyes and looked up to see the very same girl from his vision. the one who had sacrificed so much. She was wearing a light pink kimono, a basket of herbs hanging by her side. "You'll catch cold sleeping in a place like this," she said with a soft smile, oblivious to the tumultuous emotions raging inside Naruto. Naruto stood there, confused as he tried to mask the truth about what he had just seen. "Huh? Who are you?" he asked, feigning ignorance, though his mind was still swirling with the aftermath of his vision. The girl in front of him smiled softly, explaining, "I'm just out here looking for some medical herbs for a friend who was injured the other day." Naruto, ever eager to help, responded without hesitation, "I'll help you find them." She accepted his offer with a grateful nod. "Thanks for lending a hand." Naruto handed her the herb, teasing her lightly, "You're up early, huh?" "You too," she replied, returning his grin. "What's your reason for being out here so early?" "Training," Naruto exclaimed enthusiastically. She raised an eyebrow. "Training? A ninja?" Naruto puffed out his chest, proudly displaying his headband. "Yep, I'm a ninja." His boast earned a soft giggle from the girl, which made a faint blush creep across his face. "So, why are you training?" she asked, curiosity lighting up her eyes. "I want to get stronger," Naruto declared with firm conviction. "You already look pretty strong," she observed, tilting her head. Naruto shook his head vehemently. "No. I want to be even stronger. My dream is to be Hokage, the strongest ninja in the village. I'm going to prove everyone wrong and make them recognize my strength. There's something I need to prove right now too." "Is that for you? Or someone else?" she asked, her voice soft yet probing. Naruto paused, taken aback by the question. He stared at her for a moment, trying to make sense of it. But before he could answer, she added with a laugh, "Do you have someone precious to you?" "What?" Naruto stammered, caught off guard by her question. The girl smiled again, her gaze gentle. "When you have something or someone you want to protect, that's when you can truly become strong." Naruto's thoughts immediately flashed to Iruka-sensei, his team, and all the people who cared about him. Slowly, a smile tugged at the corners of his lips. "Yeah, I understand that very well." The girl gathered her verbs into a basket, and before she walked away, she turned to him. "You will become strong. We'll meet again somewhere, I'm sure of it." But as she began to walk away, something clicked in Naruto's mind. His vision surged within him, and he called out to her. "Wait. Haku, right?" The girl froze, turning back with a puzzled expression. "How do you know my name?" "I know you're with him." "Zabuza," Naruto said, his eyes narrowing. Haku's eyes hardened instantly, and in an instant, she conjured a senbon made of ice, hurling it toward Naruto with deadly precision. Naruto reacted swiftly, dodging it with ease. "I don't want to fight. I just want to talk," Naruto said, his voice calm, despite the tension. Haku hesitated for a moment, her hand still holding a second senbon, but then slowly lowered it. How do you know about me and Zabuza? How do you know I see myself as nothing more than a tool to him?" she asked, her voice trembling. Naruto's expression softened. "I can see it in your eyes. You've been used, and you're trying to protect someone who doesn't even see you as a person. I know how it feels, but you don't have to die for him." Haku blinked, her mind racing as she recalled something Zabuza had said. Flashback. "Haku, where are you going?" Zabuza had asked, noticing her preparations to leave. "I'm going to find medicine for you," Haku replied, determined to help. "Just be careful. If you run into Kakashi or that brat, stay away from them. They're dangerous, especially that blonde kid. He could see every move I made in the mist. I almost lost because of him." Haku nodded, though deep down, she knew she'd have to face him again. And flashback. Now, Haku was shaken. "How do you know all of this?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. She wanted to dismiss the thought, but it lingered. Could he truly have foresight? "You're too kind to be involved with someone like Zabuza," Naruto said, his tone gentle but firm. "I know he saved your life, gave you a reason to keep going, but how can you give up your life for him? For someone like that?" Tears welled up in Haku's eyes, the weight of Naruto's words sinking in. But she clenched her fists, steeling herself. "I'll do whatever it takes. If my life is what he needs to survive, then so be it. I will follow him to the end." Naruto's face grew serious. "Please, Haku, don't go to the bridge. If you do, you'll die." The warning hit Haku like a ton of bricks. Somehow, this boy knew her fate. She looked at him with a confused expression, searching for an explanation. "How do you know? How will I die?" Naruto took a deep breath, trying to keep his composure. He could have told her everything he saw in his vision, but revealing too much would risk altering the future. "You'll die so that Zabuza can live. Please, just don't go." Haku paused, her heart heavy. She knew what Naruto was trying to do, but she was resolute. "I've already made my choice. I must follow Zabuza's orders." As she walked away, Naruto stood frozen in place, thoughts racing. He turned to leave, but before he could take another step, Sasuke appeared, ready to resume training. The two of them spent the rest of the evening pushing each other to their limits, barely able to walk back to Tazuna's house after their grueling session. At the dinner table, Tsunami served them food, but it barely lasted a few seconds before it disappeared. Tazuna laughed softly, exhausted from his own work. "At this rate, we'll have that bridge done in no time." But then, Inari's voice cut through the laughter. "Why bother? No matter how hard you try, you're no match for Gato. The strong will always crush the weak. You can train all you want, but it won't change anything." Naruto, normally the first to snap back at someone, simply shrugged. "Whatever, kid. I'm not like you. I'd hate to be like you." Inari shouted, tears streaming down his face. "You don't know what it's like to live here, to suffer like we do." Naruto's patience finally broke. "Then keep crying, you little sissy." Sakura stepped in, trying to calm things down. "Naruto, stop." Naruto muttered under his breath as he stood up. "I've got something to think about." He walked away, leaving the room behind. Outside, Inari sat on the dock, still sobbing. Kakashi approached and sat beside him. "Naruto didn't mean to hurt your feelings. He just doesn't think things through sometimes," Kakashi explained. "But like you, Naruto's lost a lot in his life. He grew up alone, never knowing his parents. But he never gave up. He keeps moving forward, trying his hardest to be acknowledged. He's been through worse than you could imagine, but he never lets it stop him." Inari listened, his tears slowly subsiding as Kakashi's words sank in. Naruto understood strength better than anyone, perhaps even better than Inari's father had. But Naruto's mind was elsewhere, weighed down by Haku's fate and the terrible future he had glimpsed. "I can't let her die for Zabuza," he thought. "But I can't ignore Sasuke either. He's going to unlock his Sharingan tomorrow. What do I do?" As his thoughts spiraled, Naruto felt himself slipping into unconsciousness. When he awoke, he found himself on top of a towering structure, the same one where he had met time before. The figure in the long blue cloak stood nearby, gazing out into the distance. "I know what you're thinking," Time said, not turning to face him. "You wonder why you're here again. I brought you here to warn you." Naruto stood up, confused. "A warning?" Time nodded. "Before, using your foresight didn't alter the outcome. But now, you're considering saving Haku. You're wondering if you can change her fate. I'm telling you, this Haku's death is inevitable. You can't change it? But why? Naruto asked, his voice shaking. Why can't I save her? Because if you do, it will disrupt the flow of time, Time explained. The consequences of changing fate could be catastrophic, even I cannot foresee the results. Naruto's mind raced. I don't care about the consequences. I need to do what's right. I know, Time said, his voice somber. But this time, you must let go. You must allow the future to unfold as it's meant to. Naruto was about to argue, but before he could say another word, Time gave him one last push, sending him tumbling off the tower and into the stormy sea below. Goodbye, and please take care of Naruto, Kakashi said as he and the rest of Team 7 left with Tazuna for the bridge. Meanwhile, Naruto remained asleep inside the house, unaware of the departure. After about half an hour, Naruto began to stir. Damn time. What should I do? I don't want to change anything, but I can't just let Haku make that sacrifice, he muttered as he glanced at the clock on the wall. His eyes widened in realization. I overslept. He quickly jumped up and rushed toward the door. Hey! Where is everyone? He yelled, throwing it open and stepping into the living room. Oh, you're awake? Your sensei said you'd sleep the day away, Tsunami said, looking surprised. They left me behind. Naruto exclaimed, dashing toward the door. Ugh. Damn it. Damn time. He cursed as his Sharingan activated. Through its lens, he saw images of two bandits sneaking into Tsunami's house, kidnapping her and Inari. In the kitchen, Tsunami was busy preparing food for when the others returned. As she turned to grab a pot, the door was suddenly smashed open by two of Gato's thugs wielding swords. Are you Tsunami, daughter of Tazuna? One of the bandits sneered, his black hat perched crookedly on his head. You're coming with us. Before Tsunami could react, the thug without a shirt smashed a nearby table, sending Tsunami crashing into the cabinets. Mom! Inari shouted, running out from the bathroom after hearing the chaos in the kitchen. A kid? Ha, this just got interesting, one thug grinned. Inari, run! Tsunami shouted, panic filling her voice. Should we take him too? Asked the shirtless thug. We only need one hostage, the thug in the hat said, glancing at the boy. The woman will be more valuable after we're done with her and the old man. Tsunami trembled at the thought, but then, the thug pulled out his sword and turned to Inari. If you touch my son, I'll kill myself before you can lay a hand on him, Tsunami threatened, her voice shaking but firm. Smart girl, the thug sneered, but before they could act, Inari, filled with fear, cowered behind a wall, crying. Pretty skin you have, can't wait for after we take care of the old man, the thug leered, sending a shiver down Tsunami's spine. Suddenly, Inari stood up, his voice trembling but determined. Wait. The two thugs turned in surprise, realizing it was the boy. Inari. Tsunami screamed, horrified. I won't let you hurt my mom. Inari shouted, his voice growing stronger. The larger thug smirked. Looks like I get to cut you up after all. But as the two thugs made their move on Inari, he vanished in a puff of smoke, leaving only his hat behind. Sorry I'm late, Naruto apologized as he appeared with Inari, placing him gently next to his mother. You know, the hero always shows up at the last second. Naruto. Tsunami breathed in relief. Nice job, Inari. Naruto grinned. Look, it's one of those loser ninjas, mocked the thugs, charging at Naruto. The young ninja quickly threw a couple of shuriken, but they weren't ordinary shuriken. Before the thugs could react, the shuriken exploded into Naruto clones, who kicked the bandits' heads, sending them flying into the water below the dock. How did you know they were coming here? Inari asked, still stunned. I have a knack for knowing what's about to happen, Naruto grinned. But hey, sorry about yesterday, Inari. I called you a sissy, but you're actually pretty strong. Tears welled up in Inari's eyes. I told myself I wouldn't cry anymore. Naruto smiled kindly. It's okay to cry when you're happy. He quickly tied up the unconscious thugs with ropes and nets. If they attacked here, the bridge could be in trouble. I need to go. Can I count on you to hold down the fort? Yeah. Leave it to me. Inari cheered. Meanwhile, Team 7, along with Tazuna, arrived at the bridge, only to be greeted by a horrific sight. Workers were scattered across the bridge, some injured, others lifeless. What is this? Tazuna shouted, surveying the damage. A monster. One worker mumbled, slipping into unconsciousness, just as the mist rolled in. Kirigakure no jutsu, Sakura murmured, her voice tense. Suzuki trembled beside her. A voice echoed from the mist. Long time no see, Kakashi. The mist parted as 6 Zabuzas, clones of the original Hunter-nin, emerged. I see you're still with those brats. Poor kid, I see you're shaking again, the voice continued. Suzuki grinned. I'm not shaking. I'm excited, he said before dashing forward, cutting down all 6 Zabuzas with swift strikes. But the figures turned into water clones. Huh. He saw through my water clones, Zabuza muttered, turning to his apprentice. Looks like you've got a rival, Haku. I knew it, Kakashi said, his eyes narrowing at the familiar Hunter-nin. The Hunter-nin from before is working with Zabuza. I'll fight her, Suzuki declared. I hate people who try to trick us. And I hate bitches like that the most. Sakura blushed. He's so cool. Kakashi face-palmed. She's too hung up on him. The masked Hunter-nin moved swiftly, vanishing in a water shunshin. She reappeared beside Suzuki and aimed a senbon at him. I'll finish this, Suzuki gritted his teeth, blocking the attack with the kuno. The 2 weapons clashed. Zabuza chuckled. I didn't think he could keep up with Haku. I'll deal with her, Suzuki muttered, focusing his chakra and preparing for the next attack. Sakura, meanwhile, stayed back to protect Tazuna, as Kakashi faced off with Zabuza. I'll end this quickly, Zabuza sneered, drawing his sword. Inside the ice mirror dome, Haku taunted Suzuki. Now, let me show you my real speed, she smirked, before summoning thousands of flying water needles aimed at Suzuki. He dodged with incredible speed, but Haku wasn't done. With a single motion, the water transformed into a deadly trap, Hayaton, Makyo Hayasho, ice release, crystallize mirrors. Suzuki found himself surrounded, unable to keep up with Haku's speed. Meanwhile, Kakashi, seeing his student at a disadvantage, tried to assist but was intercepted by Zabuza, who was determined not to let him interfere. Suzuki, trapped within the ice dome, thought, what's going on? I can't see where she's coming from. There's no way to keep up with this. Suddenly, a loud voice broke through the chaos. Hey Suzuki. I came in here to save you. Naruto's voice echoed inside the dome. Suzuki's eye twitched in frustration. You idiot. Why did you come inside the mirrors? You're supposed to be helping. Naruto responded, loud as ever, I came to help and this is what I get. Outside, Kakashi sighed. Naruto, you always manage to make things worse. You're a ninja, not an entertainer. Zabuza laughed at the spectacle. So this is your idea of help, Kakashi? A loudmouth, clumsy kid. Kakashi face-palmed. You have no idea. As the 2 clashed inside and outside the mirrors, it was clear that this battle was far from over. but Naruto's arrival had made things a lot more chaotic. Kakashi assessed the situation with a sharp eye. For a child to master a jutsu like that, it must be a Keki-I Genkai, he concluded, pulling off his headband. Apologies, but this will be over in an instant. Zabuza sneered at the sight of Kakashi's Sharingan. The Sharingan again? Is that all you can do? With that, he lunged at Kakashi, swinging his enormous sword with a fierce, deadly motion. However, it was a feint. As Kakashi dodged the blade, Zabuza attempted to strike with a kunai, but Kakashi caught it effortlessly. You talk as if the Sharingan is all I can rely on, but you're the one who's afraid of it, Zabuza, Kakashi remarked with calm confidence. Zabuza chuckled darkly. A true shinobi's greatest techniques should never be revealed to an enemy twice, he mocked. And even if you defeat me, you won't win against Haku. Since she was a child, I personally trained her in the ninja arts. Her jutsu surpass even mine, thanks to her Keki-I Genkai. Unlike you, I possess a true weapon. Suddenly, Zabuza executed his signature technique. Kirigaku or no jutsu. The mist thickened to an almost impenetrable density, transforming Zabuza into a ghostly figure hidden by the fog. You rely too much on your Sharingan, Zabuza taunted from somewhere in the mist. Kakashi, ever vigilant, quickly sensed the incoming shuriken and blocked them with expert precision. But as the mist swirled around him, Kakashi caught a glimpse of Zabuza with his eyes shut, vanishing back into the mist almost as soon as he was seen. Kakashi tightened his grip on his kunai, waiting. He realized that Zabuza, a master of silent killing, didn't need to see his target to strike, his heightened hearing was enough. Kakashi steeled himself for the next attack, knowing that the situation was dire. But then it hit him. Tajuna! He shouted, suddenly aware of the danger to the bridge builder. Kakashi teleported using the Shunshin technique, but by the time he arrived, it was already too late to block the strike. Zabuza's blade cut across Kakashi's torso, leaving a deep gash. Kyaa! Sakura screamed in horror at the sight of her sensei injured. Meanwhile, inside the ice dome, Naruto and Sasuke were being bombarded by Senbon, with Haku attacking from all directions. The Senbon were sharper, faster, and more deadly than before. Haku had clearly decided to fight seriously. Naruto hesitated at first, unwilling to reveal his dojutsu to Haku. But as the Senbon pierced his limbs, he realized he had no choice but to activate it in order to minimize the damage. As he did, he noticed Sasuke struggling far more without the aid of a dojutsu. Hang in there, Naruto thought, frustrated. Why does it have to be this way, Haku? Sasuke slowly pulled himself to his feet, pain coursing through his body. Damn it! I have to do something, he thought, trying to focus through the pain. But, my eyes are starting to pick up her movements. Haku, aware of her opponent's shifting tactics, thought to herself, both of them are dodging, but how? They shouldn't be able to see my attacks at this speed. Wait a minute. Her eyes widened as she realized what was happening. The Sharingan. Sasuke has the Sharingan. But this other boy, what are those eyes? Haku, Sasuke muttered under his breath, realizing they were facing a formidable enemy. Naruto smirked at Sasuke's confusion. "Tch, you're welcome, team," he said, before turning his attention to Haku. "Haku, why are you doing this? You've got a choice here. You don't have to throw your life away. I know you're better than that. I've got these powers for a reason, and I'm not just going to sit back and watch everything fall apart." Haku was drained and struggling to maintain her jutsu. I can't keep this up much longer, she thought, glancing between the two boys. Sasuke had taken more damage and was slower to react. It's him, she decided, preparing to make a final move against Sasuke. But before she could act, Naruto had already read her intentions. In an instant, Naruto switched places with Sasuke, diving in front of the Uchiha just as Haku released another barrage of Senbon. Several needles embedded themselves into Naruto's neck. "Sasuke! Get out of here!" Naruto shouted, even as he collapsed to the ground, a clone dispelling in a puff of smoke. Sasuke stared in disbelief. "Naruto? Why?" he asked, unable to comprehend the sacrifice. Naruto grinned weakly, his breath labored. "I'm not about to let my friends die, team," he said, his voice full of determination. "And it's time to finish this." Sasuke took a deep breath, his anger boiling. Shadow clone, so he planned this all along. Damn it. He formed hand seals. Katon, Gokakyu no Jutsu. The fireball roared towards Haku, forcing her to retreat into her mirrors, narrowly avoiding the flames. But she had fewer options left. As the mirror shimmered in the distance, Haku realized her chakra reserves were nearly depleted. She would have to end it now. But just as she left her mirror, a kunao shot towards her, seemingly missing. Yet, at the last moment, the kunao transformed into Naruto, who tackled her and hurled her from the ice dome. The structure crumbled as the chakras sustaining it faded away. Naruto and his clone swarmed over Haku, pinning her to the ground. "I told you I wouldn't let my friends die. That includes you, Haku," Naruto said, removing her mask. "Your life is worth more than this." Haku, exhausted and defeated, murmured, "I've lost. I have no chakra left, and Zabuza-sama has no use for me now." Naruto slapped her across the face, leaving a red mark. "You're not a tool. You're a person. And a good one, at that." Sasuke, limping over, asked, "What's going on?" "I'll explain later," Naruto said, flaring his eyes to Sasuke, giving him a silent cue. Sasuke nodded and winced. "Damn, these needles hurt." Meanwhile, Kakashi continued to fight Zabuza in the mist. Despite his Sharingan, the dense fog made it difficult to see. With his injuries worsening, he decided to end the battle. "I can't risk the kid's safety any longer." Pulling out a scroll, Kakashi smeared some of his blood on it and slammed it into the ground. "Kukiyos, Doton, Tsuge no Jutsu," he declared. Zabuza laughed cruelly. "Whatever you do, it's useless, Kakashi. You can't find me, but I can find you." But before he could finish, he heard growling and felt the sharp sting of dogs biting into his legs. He opened his eyes and saw a swarm of dogs attacking him. "You're not as clever as you think," Kakashi remarked as he approached Zabuza through the thinning mist. "These are my ninja hounds. They followed the scent of my blood right to you. The mist may be clearing, but your fate is sealed." Zabuza cursed as Kakashi spoke. "You've gone too far, Zabuza. You betrayed your country, failed in your ambitions, and attached yourself to scum like Gado." With the final hand seal, Kakashi gathered chakra, his hand crackling with lightning. "Raikiri." Zabuza's eyes widened in terror as he realized his end was near. "Tajuna won't die here," Kakashi said coldly. "You won't take another life." Zabuza's voice rang out with defiance. "I don't care about your terms. I'll fight for my ideals, and that's not going to change." Kakashi, standing his ground, gave one final warning. "Surrender, Zabuza. This doesn't have to end in bloodshed." Zabuza's only response was a harsh laugh. "Surrender? Never." With a deep breath, Kakashi prepared himself for the inevitable, gathering his resolve. He charged forward, aiming to strike Zabuza's heart with his Raikiri, the lightning-infused jutsu that could end the battle in an instant. Meanwhile, Naruto, struggling to get through to Haku, was desperate. "Damn it. Can't you see your life is worth more than just being some pawn for that bastard Zabuza?" he shouted, frustration spilling over. Haku didn't respond, But something in the air changed. Naruto's eyes widened as a sudden vision overwhelmed him. Haku's death, once again, unfolding before his eyes. He acted on instinct, charging toward her, trying to stop her from taking the fatal plunge and forming the ice mirrors. But before he could reach her, she vanished into one of her mirrors, leaving Naruto shouting in vain. "No!" Naruto muttered in disbelief. He turned to where Kakashi and Zabuza were locked in their deadly confrontation. "Haku! Stop!" he yelled, racing toward them, hoping to change the course of the fight. As Naruto pushed through the dense mist, the scene before him froze him in place. Kakashi was poised to strike Zabuza with his Raikiri, but Zabuza was held fast by his swarm of dogs summoned by Kakashi's jutsu. Haku, however, was standing protectively in front of Zabuza, preparing to take the blow on his behalf. The scene was frozen in time. Haku's senbon, mid-air, was suspended in place. What? Naruto stammered, unable to comprehend what was happening. Then, his gaze caught something more peculiar, a shifting in the mist, an almost ethereal presence. A familiar, calm voice emerged from the mist. "It seems you've decided to go against my warning." Naruto's eyes darted around, his heart racing. "What's going on?" he asked, barely able to form the words. The misty figure answered with clarity. "It appears you passed the test I set before you." "Test?" Naruto questioned, confused. "Yes. A test of your resolve. Would you let things unfold as they were destined, or would you defy the course of fate and embrace your newfound power?" The figure explained. "This moment was your test, and by choosing to act, you've unlocked the next ability of your bloodline, Jiken no Taishi, the halting of time." "Halting of time?" Naruto echoed, intrigued despite the chaos. "Yes. It's a powerful ability that will aid you, though you can only pause time for a few seconds at first. With time and training, you will be able to extend its duration," the figure explained. "But, 5 seconds?" Naruto asked skeptically. "Time's been frozen for longer than that." "That's because I'm the one holding time still right now, not you," the figure clarified. "Once I leave, your ability will be limited to 5 seconds at first, and time will resume if you move any object." Naruto absorbed the information, his thoughts racing. "How long will I have to wait before I can use it again?" "For every second you pause time, you'll need to wait 5 seconds before you can use it again. In your world, 5 seconds is a long time." Naruto frowned, recalling the ominous warning from before. "You said that changing the timeline could cause unforeseeable consequences and destabilize time. Is that still the case?" "Yes. If you save Haku, the flow of time will be disrupted," the figure admitted. "But in time, it will stabilize. You won't be able to see far into the future for a while, maybe weeks, or even months. But once the flow normalizes, you'll regain that foresight." Naruto was quiet for a moment, processing the information. "So if I save her, I won't be able to predict much about the future." "Correct. But you will still have brief moments of foresight in combat. The duration of the instability will depend on the magnitude of the change you make," the figure confirmed. "I think I understand now," Naruto said, his voice firm. "I've only got 5 seconds to stop Kakashi-sensei from attacking Haku." "Yes. Are you ready?" the figure asked, preparing to end their conversation. Naruto nodded. "I'm ready." The timer started in Naruto's mind, and the world around him froze again. Without wasting a moment, Naruto darted toward Kakashi, focusing on one thing: stopping Kakashi's arm from delivering the fatal blow to Haku. He also had to deal with the senbon coming for Kakashi's scroll, which summoned the dogs. Naruto made his move, leaping towards Kakashi's arm with the intention of knocking it off course. He used his head to deflect the senbon heading for the scroll and, with a sharp impact, time resumed. What? Naruto? Kakashi exclaimed in shock as his arm veered off track, the rakery missing its target. Naruto tumbled to the ground, narrowly avoiding a worse fate, and the battle scene resumed. Sorry, Kakashi-sensei, but I couldn't let you kill them, Naruto said apologetically, rising to his feet. Kakashi looked at him, speechless, before his gaze shifted to Haku, who was still standing, stunned by the turn of events. Zabuza, on the other hand, began to laugh. Huh? Kakashi, is this how things were meant to play out? Even your own student thinks differently. He mocked. Naruto faced Haku, his voice soft but filled with empathy. I know what it's like. Being alone, with no purpose. Wanting to give up. It's painful. You just want someone to acknowledge you, anyone. I couldn't let you die. I couldn't let someone I care about die. Haku stood frozen, her eyes wide as she recognized the truth in Naruto's words. Sakura, still recovering from the shock, spoke up. Naruto, where's Sasuke? She asked, and Naruto pointed to where a limping Sasuke was making his way through the mist, injured but alive. Just then, a malicious laugh echoed through the mist, sending chills through the group. Oh, looks like you're all getting your asses kicked, a smug voice called out. Everyone turned to face the newcomer Gato, the notorious businessman, grinning like a predator. Behind him stood a crowd of armed thugs, ready for a fight. Why the hell are you here, Gato? Zabuza growled. Well, the plan has changed, Gato sneered. Actually, this was my plan from the beginning. Zabuza, I think it's time for you to die here. Zabuza gave a bitter laugh. I never had any intention of paying you. Hiring a normal ninja from the village is too costly, and there's always the risk of betrayal. Missing nens are easier to deal with. After the job's done, I just take care of them. I make them fight each other, and when they're weakened, I finish them off. No cost involved, it's a perfect plan. The only problem was you. Zabuza. The so-called demon of the hidden mist. You're nothing but a little baby demon, really, Gato taunted. His henchmen burst into laughter, mocking Zabuza. We could easily kill you now. One jeered. Gato smirked, his orders cold. Kill them all. But leave the girls alive. The pink-haired one could make a lot of money once trained. And I've got some personal business to take care of with the other one. Naruto's blood boiled. What did you just say, you bastard? He growled, rushing towards Gato. Kakashi. Naruto's teacher caught him by the collar, stopping him in his tracks. Look at their numbers. Don't rush in. Zabuza, still chained up, chuckled grimly. This fight's over. You can release me, Kakashi. I'll take care of Gato myself. He crossed a line with Haku. His voice darkened with anger. Naruto shot back, so now you care about her. Zabuza snapped, his voice low and fierce. Shut up, brat. I used Haku, sure. In the world of shinobi, you either use people or get used. I took her in for her bloodline, not out of love. But over time, she became something more to me. More than just a tool. She became like a daughter. Say otherwise again, and I'll rip your mouth off. His glare silenced Naruto. Kakashi sighed, releasing Zabuza. Fine, do what you must. Zabuza, despite the pain from the bite marks left by Kakashi's summoned dogs, was still dangerous. He drew his massive sword and charged at Gato's men. Gato, cowering behind his goons like the coward he was, could only watch in terror as Zabuza advanced. The thugs, sensing the shift in the air, hesitated. Zabuza flared his killing intent, and several of Gato's men trembled in fear. With one swift slash, Zabuza decimated over a dozen of Gato's hired thugs, their bodies dropping lifeless to the ground. Zabuza's gaze locked onto Gato, his eyes full of fury. Gato, frozen in place, could only watch in terror as the former demon of the hidden mist calmly walked towards him. Zabuza spoke with a grim smirk. You think you were the only one planning a kill today? I've been planning on taking your life for some time now. And guess what? My job is done. I've earned my freedom, and now it's your turn to die. With a quick swipe, Zabuza cleaved Gato's head from his body, and the tyrant's body slumped to the ground. The remaining thugs panicked. Damn you. You killed our meal ticket. One yelled, and chaos broke out. They rushed to attack the ninja, but before they could act, arrows rained down in front of them. The villagers of Nami no Kuni had arrived, led by Inari. Inari! Naruto shouted, relieved. Inari smiled back, proud. Heh, guess a hero always shows up at the last minute. Naruto grinned. I've got this. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Dozens of Narutos appeared alongside the villagers. Kakashi, already exhausted from using the Sharingan, summoning, and Reikiri, was running low on chakra but still managed to create clones. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. He called, and 10 clones appeared next to Naruto's army. Zabuza, too, summoned his own allies. Mizu Bunshin no Jutsu. 6 water clones appeared beside him. The thugs were now outnumbered and visibly frightened. Let's get out of here. One thug screamed as the bandits scattered, fleeing for their lives. The villagers cheered in victory. We did it! They shouted, celebrating their newfound freedom. As the dust settled, the group regrouped. Haku had finished tending to Sasuke's injuries, removing the senbon from his body. Sasuke was beginning to regain feeling and mobility. Kakashi turned to Naruto. We need to talk when we get back to the house. Naruto groaned inwardly. He knew this was coming. I figured, Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi then asked Zabuza, what will you do now? Zabuza shrugged. Honestly, I'm not sure. Both of us will need some time to recover, and I've got unfinished business. Naruto looked hopeful. Do you think you and Haku could come back with us to Konoha? Zabuza snorted. You really are naive, kid. But, I'll think about it. Running from hunter nins all the time would get old. That evening, after the battle, Kakashi gathered his team at a secluded clearing near Tajuna's house. Interesting day, huh? Kakashi said. I saw you unlocked your Sharingan, Sasuke. Sasuke nodded, then turned to Naruto. Did you know? Naruto shrugged. Yeah, I found out the day before. I didn't want to say anything in case it changed your path. But sorry about the senbon. Sasuke grinned slightly. It's fine. I got my Sharingan, and you said it could have been worse. Now that I have it, Itake's days are numbered. Kakashi raised an eyebrow. So, what happened on the bridge, Naruto? I didn't even see you move. Naruto sighed. I've got a new ability. Only lasts 5 seconds for now, but it's powerful. Kakashi nodded thoughtfully. 5 seconds is a long time in this world, Naruto. But next time, let me know. I might be able to help, or at least offer some insight. I will, Kakashi-sensei. I'm sorry about earlier, Naruto replied. Kakashi continued, we'll be here for another week to help finish the bridge. With Gato gone, Tajuna can work uninterrupted, but we'll still have some work to do. Ambu is handling the cleanup. He gave a meaningful look toward Sakura, who understood. The human trafficking operation Gato ran was not something she or anyone wanted to witness. As the week passed, the villagers worked tirelessly to rebuild their home. The bridge was completed, and the economy of Nami no Kuni began to recover. Thanks to the Ambu team, Gato's criminal empire was swiftly dismantled, including the human trafficking ring, and Konoha took just enough of his fortune to cover the mission's expenses, with the rest helping to revitalize the island. The day came when the team was ready to leave. Kakashi turned to Zabuza. "So, have you made a decision?" Zabuza nodded. "I have. I've received word from an ally. The rebellion against the Mizukage is gaining ground." "It's not over?" Kakashi raised an eyebrow. "So you're going back?" Zabuza nodded. "The Mizukage's tyranny is just as bad as Gado's. He's the cause of much suffering. The rebellion isn't for personal gain, it's for something I hold dear." Kakashi glanced at Haku, understanding the unspoken connection. "I see." Zabuza looked at Kakashi. "I want you to take Haku to Konoha. Let her live her life without fear. If she wants to join your forces, I'm fine with that." "Will we see you again?" Kakashi asked. Zabuza gave a half smile. "Once the rebellion's over, I'll visit Konoha to check on Haku." Kakashi nodded. "I'll let the Hokage know." Zabuza turned to Naruto. "And you, Orange Brat, if I ever find you've hurt Haku, I'll decapitate you and make you eat your own head." Naruto blinked in confusion, unsure how to respond, but for some reason, he felt the thread wasn't empty. With that final warning, Zabuza disappeared into the mist, leaving Haku in the care of her new family.